The final day is upon us, everybody, and welcome. It is Mr. Right Way on. Yo, we got 6 people already. Hey, what's up, guys? Today is the Tears of the Kingdom release. I think it's Tears of the Kingdom release. But anyway, we got a lot of great people in here, guys. You know who we got. We got my boy, Retro NES. How you doing, man?
Neo Nest in the house. What it is.
What it is, what it do. You got some more games, man? What you got?
Nah, man. Neo Geo made me broke.
I'm
broke now. I'm broke.
Hey, you I'm broke at this. You broke at this. Oh, man, that was I wasn't ready for that. Okay. It's so silly. All right, anyway, we get right to it, guys. You know, and we got my boy, friend over 20 years, Mr. Gamer MD, Alex Tyler on Twitter with this horrible statue.
What is up? I had to show my girl. This is Lilith in full effect, and we're waiting on that Diablo 4 to drop. So what's up?
Man, like I said, you need a hug, man.
I see like 5 PS5s back there. What's going on?
I know. I was like, damn.
I know.
Facts.
He hoarding them, man. All right.
Yeah, I got a little bit of something for everybody.
We better send one over this way. And we got my boy A Omega, and he representing team. Well, is that Xbox? I don't know.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Tonight. It's the only one Xbox shirt I got, so I was like, hey, might as well go ahead and stun out for you, felt.
Oh my goodness! Hey, at least got a little love this last week. We killed everybody. Everybody was mad by it. Well, they wasn't like nobody wasn't mad, but man, we ain't gonna revisit it. We're not gonna revisit that Xbox conversation because they need to be good.
I don't think they want that. I don't think they want that smoke going through this week. All right, we got to get off their necks for a bit, man. We got to get off their necks.
And y'all guys, we tonight. This is gonna be a good podcast, but we got a special guest. One of my homeboys, one of my friends. He is a legend. He's an icon in nerdcore rap. This dude is a real video game rapper. Wink, wink. I got my boy Mega Ray.
Yo, what's good? What's good?
What's up, brother?
It's good to see y'all. It's good to be here, man. I was just playing some Vampire Survivors, getting ready, and yeah, man, this is it's a good time to be a gamer, and so yeah, man. I
absolutely.
For those who don't know, I typically write songs either about games or comic books, anime, things that I'm inspired by. You know what I'm saying? And right now I'm currently working on a children's album, which will be a lot of fun. So a little change of gears. So, but yeah, man, everything's been good. So thanks for having me.
Man, you're welcome, brother. And you got a huge show this weekend. I know you can't stay with us long, but thank you so much for your presence. I know you're a busy man, you're a family man, but what do you got going on this weekend? This is first ever what you're going to do. Man, this is huge. I mean, I'm so proud of you, bro. I can't believe that this is happening for you. So explain to the audience what's going on this weekend.
Oh, man, thank you. I'm doing it's called the Dream Master Mixtape. We're doing a festival in Arizona, 3 days, May 12, 13, 14, a bunch of either video game music bands, hip hop artists, there's rock, there's jazz, there's punk, there's just so much going on. All these different genres are going to be playing at this really dope spot called the Red Moon Ale House, which it's made by a video game lover, and it's got there's game imagery everywhere all over the place. So it's going to be a combination of all the things I love, music, gaming, culture, and it's going to happen this weekend in Yuma, Arizona. So I'm super excited.
Man, congratulations. I love to see another brother getting out there doing big things. I mean, dude, you're just doing it. I mean, you got video game songs on, just name what was the last song that you had on a video game? One is River City Girls 2?
River City Girls 2. We did a song.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, for real? Dope. I'm actually playing that too, man. That's what's up. Hey, shout out to you, man.
Yeah,
this is basketball stage. There's my song. When there's a basketball court. There's even a sprite of us in the game.
And you was in Turtles too, bro?
Turtles. Where I know that. Oh, yes, sir. Shredder's Revenge.
Shredder's Revenge to me was game of the year. It got robbed. But I'm very proud of that, man. I've been in the Turtles for as long as I can remember. So to be a part of that legacy on that soundtrack with, Raekwon and Ghostface on it. Mike Patton. It's a crazy, crazy, crazy lineup. So it just worked out, you know. So I don't know. I'm becoming like the go-to guy for these, like the 2D beat 'em ups. So if they make like a new Final Fight or something, they're gonna have to holler.
Oh, that would be fire. That would be so
That'd be
fire.
killer right there.
Oh, especially like with Street Fighter 6 and everything that they've done. Oh my God, I can only imagine what a new Final Fight game would be like. That would be so sick.
Man, dude, I tell you guys, y'all gotta go. Just go to iTunes, go to Spotify, type in Mega Ran. That freaking turtle song is so dope. I get chilled about. No, seriously, I love that. That song is good, and it's like a great ending song. You know, like how some songs, and when you beat the game, is like just boring. No, this song make you stay to read it. I'm reading the credits, but I'm listening to the song. It's like a so dope.
I appreciate it, man. I didn't even believe it was in there. I was streaming it, and then we got to the ending, and I was like, all right, I gotta let this play because we gotta see what happens. Like I didn't even believe it. And then I heard my voice and I was like, yeah. Like, it was like live on stream. Like, you know how stuff goes in the world of video games, man. It's like wrestling. Stuff is subject to change, man.
Yeah.
So all the time we hear things and then like you think something's gonna happen and then it's like, maybe next time. You know, but it's in there, man. Like that game sold over 1 million copies. So I'm like very, very proud to be a part of that for sure.
Bruh, just doing big things. I say this. And it's not easy what you're doing, man. You stood out. Your story is amazing. You was a teacher, and then you stopped it. Then you're just going over and over, man. And I remember when we first met, man, it was just like an instant connection. Like we knew each other for a while. Just like, you know, like you. I remember I met you, but I don't remember because it's been so like that connection.
I don't even know if I remember. Maybe it's at a PAX or something.
It's so long, man. It was like, oh yeah.
Yeah. Whenever I see brothers that are particularly into like video games like I am, and then into wrestling too, like we were like peas in the pod. So yeah, man. Then I just start seeing you all in, you know, different events all over. And I was like, oh man, he be outside, you know.
Yeah, I be hustling, man. Just like you, be hustling,
be outside.
Man.
Like some cats just be, you know, they just on the internet with it, but nah, like he be outside. So I see him all over the place, man. Now you gallivanting in Japan, you everywhere.
Hey man, trying to follow your footsteps. I saw you in Japan. I said, man, I gotta get back over there, bro.
It's right wayside. Right. That's what you're gonna
I wanted to go like, hey, I wanted to.
Oh my god, I remember you trying to do that. Oh god,
I wanted to do that so bad, bro. I wanted to do this so bad. And guys, ladies and gentlemen, we are streaming at 1080p finally. So I'm sorry about the old show, but hey. Let me know down in the comments, do we look real good in 1080p? Because, you know, I'm sorry, your boy's being a little cheap, but, you know, the podcast started to take off, so it's going to be even better. You can see us even more in crispy. Everybody looking good.
Yeah,
but
are we good? Are we crispy? Everybody looking good?
Crispy. Let me know.
Boy, say black don't crack, man. I'm loving it.
Yeah. Hey, black don't crack, but this show might, you know, it get ashy. And then we have some ashy episodes, but yeah. We had some ashy episodes, boy. Conversation was good, but when I look back at it, Alex had to, and thank God for Alex, because he's like, man, what's wrong? You running the Super Nintendo game or something? I'm like, what you talking about? He said, go back and look at it. I said, oh, because I don't really like looking back at my stuff. Once I do it, I don't like looking at it. Like, I look back, I said, oh my God, I cannot put that out no more.
Yeah,
so
ain't nobody gonna come onto your ain't nobody trying to hear all that.
No.
I was looking at it, I was like, bro, it's like people, you better be glad that all your other previous content was so fire. Otherwise, nobody's coming up into this thing because it looks like, you know, somebody's running it on a Commodore 64 from back in the day.
Yeah, that was.
That's all types of disrespect. Damn.
Hey, hey, man, we got a question in the chat. He says, "So, what is this music reaction channel or channel? Or I guess I don't know.
Is that a question?
I guess it's a question. I don't know. We'll skip that. But anyway,
what is this?
I don't know. And Katie Conway,
first question. What is this? What is this right now?
He said he subscribed to you, Mega Ran. Also, yeah, Mega Ran is on YouTube. His YouTube is good, y'all. So y'all make sure y'all subscribe to my boy Mega Ran. Got some dope content, you know. Make sure you subscribe to him on Spotify, make a playlist, do all that kind of stuff, man. Because my boy Mega Ran is hot. And I don't say Mega Man, Mega Ran. And it's not Meg Ryan, as he always like to joke on YouTube. It's Mega
Yeah,
Ryan.
people see it, they be like, "Oh, I thought that said Meg Ryan real quick," and I was like, I hear that a lot actually.
Meg Ryan. Oh, man.
You know, I used to have T-shirts that said "Not Meg Ryan" on it, but fun times. But
I love it.
You should get one with Snoop. They tell you to meet Snoop. You should get one like not Meg Ryan. One of those shows she had, remember the little cooking show, wheat show she had or something.
wait, no, that's Martha Stewart.
Oh, well, wrong one. Okay, my bad. Well, see, I've been smoking.
She's
Look at that.
she's busy hanging out with Snoop Dogg and
She
smoking
hangs
weed.
out with
Like,
Snoop.
what's up?
Yeah,
Yeah.
she was cool. She like
You getting your old white ladies mixed up.
Oh yeah, I did get that stuff.
Aren't we all at the end of the day?
Hey, but so over here, y'all, who on the cast is getting Zelda? We see right here, Daryl. You said who is getting Zelda? We about to get ready to talk about Zelda talk. I already prepaid my Zelda at GameStop. As you can see, I got my arm sleeve, which I'm not opening this up, and I got my cheese board, as everybody was talking about, the wooden plaque. As you can see right here.
Wood pause.
Yeah, Zelda Wood pause.
Zelda Wood. Hashtag Zelda Wood. That should be the name of this episode.
No, please don't do that hashtag.
Yeah, hashtag Zelda Wood. Well, you know what? When I got this right here, it's so crazy though. And y'all, if Ella go crazy, y'all just y'all.
No, I'm trying to be on my best behavior because I was all kinds of out of whack last time.
No, you went out of whack. No, you good. But I understand. GameStop, these plaques, if y'all get there at 10:30, make sure you try to get in line early, because I promise you, if you pre-order at GameStop, you may not pick it up, because each GameStop getting like 60, and some pre-orders extend over to 100.
So I haven't, all right, in the past, because like I usually pick up games the night of if I get them at GameStop.
Yeah.
But like they hold them for what is it, 2 days?
Yeah, 2 days. And sometimes they know you, they'll hold it for 2 weeks if they know you.
Yeah, I was say if they know you, like they're really good, like keeping stuff
If
on
they
like
know
on the
you,
side for
yeah.
you. Yeah,
But
but
like-
like a random nobody, yeah, that joint probably gonna be gone in like 24 hours, man. I ain't
Yep,
gonna hold
they're
you.
gonna be like, sorry, man, we ain't got it.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
you better be in line. Anybody, are y'all expecting big lines? Do you think it's gonna be one of these
Oh, yeah.
situations?
I don't
where
think
it's-
none of these kids know what's up when it comes to a midnight launch. Like back in the day, like actually me and Steve, we go way back. So it's like when Halo 3 launched, that line went the entire complex and
Man,
around.
that
I mean,
was
we
a
had
long-ass line.
music, we had
Yep.
TVs, we had people doing all kinds of everything.
Had the military
And-
come out.
Halo 3. Okay.
It was just insane.
Ooh, yeah, Halo
I
3,
actually, that's
yeah.
funny. I actually played a show at the Microsoft store. Rest in peace. I don't even think they even do those anymore. But the Microsoft store had a Halo midnight release party, and they had me perform. And then they like right until the moment that it was time to sell it, and then they like stopped the performance. And man, it was packed. Like it was lit. But yeah, these days, ain't nobody. Last game I stood outside for overnight was Elden Ring. Not overnight, but just
nice.
going to grab
Okay.
for a midnight launch.
You know what they need to do? If I was GameStop, I'd go ahead and put a bar in that bitch. And then all of a sudden it's like, you got alcohol, place for people to game and chill out. And I'd make sure every launch had a midnight release or something like that. That way it's like you had this whole social thing going. People knew that was the place to come and hang out. People were like, oh yeah, I get to hang out with other gamers. I'm getting my drink on. I got some little snacks and hors d'oeuvres and whatnot. And then all of a sudden it's like, boom, my game is there. And I mean, that type of vibe, man, it's like they're missing out, because it's like, what happens? It's like nowadays people, it's like they just pre-order, it gets shipped over to them, next day air, boom, they're done. And it's like the whole entire social aspect of gaming is really missing. And I think the generation today, man, they are missing out on something that we all experience, because we're all a bunch of old heads. You look at the people from back at, the day, they understood exactly what we're talking about. But all these new kids coming up, man, it's like, dude, like being able to just come out there when you're like 17 years old and be like, Mom, I gotta go get this game. And it's like, all right, I'll sit in the car. And it's like, all that kind of stuff. And it's like, I don't know. I have so many amazing memories from that. And the fact that we don't have that for everybody right now is just sad.
Yeah, nowadays more is just people sending screenshots of, oh, the game's gonna unlock at midnight. It's like, man, Like, what type of excitement is like sending screenshots back and forth? Like, you know what I want to see now? We talking about that. I want to see for the release of Grand Theft Auto 6. I want to see them do something big. I want to see them do mobile strip clubs. I want to see them with like fake money and stuff like that. Where they throw it all over, like you actually in the club.
Went all the way over.
Yeah,
He said,
hey, do that joint.
Mobile
strip clubs, GTA 6.
Yeah, you know where it's got the drop down sides on the bed of the truck, and it's got the poles and the lights and stuff.
There you go. That's a whole vibe right there, bro.
They just went straight Grove Street on us right there. Went straight Grove Street on us.
Wow. Yeah, that's a vibe. I wouldn't be mad at that, man. I do want to see. I'm sure Street Fighter 6. I feel like there's going to be some things for that as well.
You know something about that, Brian?
I don't know too much.
He like
I pre-ordered mine.
But with the, I think a lot of people are going to want to grab that, physically. So I feel like there's going to be a good amount of people. But yeah,
y'all remember back in the day playing in the arcades too, though, right? Like that was an actual thing where people would put their quarters up on the machine. And like who was one up, and it's like, oh my gosh, it's like now it's like I need to have rollback net code so I can play this game. I'm like, bro, it's like when you're shoulder to shoulder to somebody talking smack, it hits different.
It's different.
That's true.
Yeah, it does hit different, man. I can't wait. I don't know. I'm gonna go up to Best Buy at 11 to see because I got my collector's edition. But GameStop, I have my game and my Pro controller and a case and Amiibo. So I'm all in. I really do like Nintendo releases because it's something about a Nintendo release is different than anybody else's really nowadays. Ever since COVID, it kind of stopped. But like in the chat, somebody was talking about. He said right here, my last midnight release was Breath of the Wild on the Switch and at Best Buy. Good time. Yeah, when the Switch first came back out, that was some like. I remember a lot of people doing midnight releases, midnight launches, getting their Switch and stuff. It was just standing in line. Meeting different people, hey man, which thing is gonna be? I don't know, but you can see them playing over there, like, oh, if get ready to bring it out. Oh, how many they got? Oh man, I need to get mine. Come on, it just all that anticipation and stuff. And you waiting, and when you other people, then getting free swag, and then there's gonna be tons of pizza and drinks, and it just the whole, like I said, a whole vibe, a
party
whole
vibe,
great attitude. Yeah, those days. I want those days back, but like I said, do people want, it's enough of us that want that day back because it seemed like they're trying, like the last release, or not the last release, but the midnight release, it was like a test midnight release for the Zelda OLED. They opened up GameStop 11 o'clock, but the people who were doing it were like, I don't know what's going on. I said, oh, you young child. Oh, I feel so old. I was like, this is what you do.
Bless your heart, young one.
Yeah, and she got there like right there, like when it supposed to open. I like, you're supposed to be ready for this stuff. People sitting in the car waiting. It was just, I was like, because I like to get my stuff like and wait around and see like other people's reaction and like, what you gonna do? Gonna do that? Just all that because the midnight release is just not about, like I said, getting that game. It's like that. It's meeting other people and just like, oh man, it's so great.
The most fire.
Think about it, right, Steve? You and I never would have met if it hadn't been for midnight launches.
No, you sure right. We didn't meet it. What you about to say, Ness?
It was the PS3 where we were camped out in front of GameStop with like all these people.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. No, what Ness was saying.
Yeah, I was saying that the most fire midnight releases weren't with GameStop. It was Babbage's. It was Babbage's. It was Banger. It was Babbage's, man. It was back when
you don't know what those Babbage's is no more.
That's what I'm saying. That's when they were fire. I mean, they were giving away displays, swag.
Special then. It was special.
Like they had they had food trucks at one of my Babbage's. Last one I went to, stuff like that.
That's good feelings. Damn.
Good times, man. That's just like my homie. He took his daughter to the Taylor Swift concert, I guess a little while back, and he bought the tickets from a guy, and they were like digital tickets. But because this guy was like a old school collector, he printed out like 3D printed like some fake tickets like that looked like the Ticketmaster stubs. Because this was his daughter was like 12, so it was like her first experience at a concert, and he put them in a frame for her. and gave them to them. And I was like, that's what's up. Because kids today, we talk about, we all sound like a bunch of old men, but oh, back in my day. But concert tickets are a thing of the past, football game tickets are a thing of the past. Like, it's all in your phone. So there's no physical anything, like physical's dying off. So I'm really glad to be talking to a bunch of people who are still into keeping physical games alive.
Man, airplane tickets. You remember airplane tickets? You gotta swipe it on like that.
Oh yeah.
My mom's
actually cool with that.
My mom's still using.
I'm cool with that too. Yeah, I'm like you got all these plane tickets like this, and like, what these for? Don't touch them. I'm like,
yeah. So yeah, that's when I see it, I'm like, man, like it's definitely an older, generation, but I think we're spending enough money. So I do think that there's a group of older people who would come out, would bring their kids to launch situations, absolutely.
Yeah.
Honestly though, I mean, not to go kind of left with this, but it's like, with all the mass shootings. No, hold on. With all the mass shootings and stuff happening, I mean, is it worth the risk at this point? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because people are crazy.
Good point.
And like I said, I'm in Texas, and that stuff happened. Like, we're gonna take it there, but it happened like an hour away from me, and that's nowhere that place is too.
20 minutes
like
from me.
Man, see, it's game stores over that way too.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh man, I'm like, and I was thinking about it was like game stores, and like Goodwill's over that way, too close in that area. I'm like, it's people just crazy these days, and you know what, maybe it is for the best it not be like it is, because you don't know. You got to check, folks. Even to go on these different shows and stuff, you got to watch, folks, because now we're in the age of so much jealousy. You don't know what somebody might come up because they jealous because you got more plastic in them, and they get mad. It's just so silly. All these doxing people doing this silly stuff that we didn't have to worry about. Remember
the PS5? Maybe it wasn't so much for PS5 because that was like maybe during pandemic, but like earlier system launches, like I remember people being afraid of like getting robbed in the parking lot.
That was the thing. That was the thing.
PS3. That was
you had to make sure you walk with it and look and go.
You get straight to the car and go.
The mentality was, man, each and every one of them got at least $500 on them.
Yeah, like y'all.
That's how I got all those PS5s. I went and sticking gun up in people's backs and be like, "That's my PS5 now."
That's how you got all these PS5s.
You do have like 6 of them joints in the background there.
I know. Right? Look here.
Actually, hold on. I got 4 in the background.
We got 4 PS5s. See, this is why people.
What does one person need? Maybe you could explain. Why do you need 4 PS5s?
They're gonna be hooked up to all the other TVs. You know how, like I was telling you guys, I have all the Xboxes and they're all spread out. I just have not had the time to put them all in all the different places. So
this is true.
Oh, they're gonna be multiple
locations.
This is true. Okay.
Alex,
you come over to my crib and we're doing game night. Everybody has their own TV. Everybody has their own console. All you have to do is log in.
Wow.
Now that's like the ultimate LAN party right there.
Yeah, that's correct. We used to do that with Halo.
Correct.
Yeah, we bring the systems over and link up.
Yo,
you don't even have to bring your system over. You just said you can bring a controller over if you want, but controllers are provided as well.
That's great.
I don't know every system. It's either gonna be 2 or 3. 2 or 3. Like I remember when we was at Walmart and getting the Wii. This fool bought 3 black and 2 white. I think it was 3 black. I know. I remember that. I took a picture and I said, "Dude," he said, "Gotta have." I like he did. I'm like,
wow.
All right,
catch them all.
He's like, look, I got these kids, and one kid's gonna be mad if they don't have it. So I mean, sometimes it's like that.
These kids are young.
I get it.
Let me ask y'all this question. So Zelda's coming out.
All right.
For the folks that did not pre-order,
shame on them.
For the folks that did not pre-order, and what's the odds of those individuals going into just a random GameStop or local store that might have the collector's edition and actually being able to get one tomorrow morning?
Zero
collector's
edition right now.
0 for the collector's edition.
For the collector's edition.
If you don't get the game physically after this weekend, they probably gonna wait another week or 2. But because I looked at last night or the day when I got my stuff, and I prepaid for everything. And I looked in the counter. I said, "How many y'all got?" We got like 200. I'm like, and 100 is pre-order. I said, and he said we'll probably sell out this weekend. I said, okay, yeah, that sounds about right. So they will.
Because I know That's good to know because I didn't pre-order, and
I didn't either.
I tend to get a little FOMO when it comes to a big release. I'm like, and now I see everybody talking about it. I'm like, I kind of want to get it.
It's funny though. They have a lot more of the collector's editions of Tears of the Kingdom than they did Breath of the Wild. Breath of the Wild was insane. Like, you had to go and you had to, like, and they had multiple different ones depending on your region. Europe had one, Japan had one, the United States had one. It was impossible to get them all. I mean, I got them all, but it's like it took a hot minute because you had to do a lot of horse trading. You know what I'm saying?
No, but I got them. But you know,
I got them. Alex, I'll tell you, like
this was much easier because they've released the collector's edition multiple times and like like a regular release cadence. In fact, you can actually go. Like Amazon up until a few days ago still had copies that would float through. So
you gotta be quick.
Yeah, y'all can never talk about me and my Neo Geo now. Alex got me beat all the way around.
Alex got you beat, man.
He got me. He's murdered me in the collecting game right now.
Hey, did you see the Harry Potter controllers? Did you see the Harry Potter controllers? There's 3 of them on camera. There's actually 4 of them. 3 of them are US, and I got one in the UK.
Won't you sell me one?
I have not.
What? Sell you one? All right, yeah, we can work something out. We'll do it off camera though.
No, off camera finagling. That's what's up.
No, hey, Alice is actually really the first collector I can actually remember who was collecting because when I was doing it, I didn't really consider myself a collector. I just bought a lot of shit. I was like, okay, I got games, got a lot of games, got a little library too. Like this dude, when I went over, the first time I really realized he was a collector, and he introduced me, and him and Justin right here, they introduced me to Game of Thrones, and we just sitting there like, what is Game of Thrones? They just sit there and I look first episode, and then I'm like, I'm looking at all this, like, there was just so much in one time. You remember that, Alex?
Oh yeah,
man.
No, it's like you guys all wanted to know Mr. Rightway's like origin story for collecting. Well, I mean, there you go, because it's like, we used to go and like, deal hunt and stuff. I mean, we're going to talk about this a little bit later, but it's like the whole entire deal with the ROG, Republic of Gamers Ally, the handheld, man. It's like, I ended up walking out the door for $449 on that thing.
Yeah,
right?
We'll talk about it.
We'll talk about that in a minute. But it's like that whole entire deal vibing and deal hunting and like finding the coupons and knowing how to maximize your trade-ins and all that stuff. I mean, that's OG. That's day one.
Respect.
Yeah, so, I mean, it's a exciting night. Like, I love like pre-order. Well, I pre-order. I just love like big release nights. This seems like one of those big release. And then we'll just go right into talking about all the rave reviews. Like, Nintendo, and also this will go with Nintendo striking down folks trying to spoil stuff, and I can see both sides of it. But Nintendo was not playing this time. They were taking people's channels down. They were being straight. They didn't care. They didn't want you to. They wanted to control the narrative, and they actually kind of did, except for getting that stuff leaked. That's a Switch thing because they learned a lesson on that one. But what do y'all feel about this? What about first the reviews, but then how Nintendo just said, you know what? All right, say F around and find out, and a lot of people found out.
I'm not surprised by either one of them. Like, I mean, this is probably the most anticipated game from Nintendo for many years, right? I mean, you got Pokemon's all that, but Zelda's like, it's top tier next to Mario, right? And I've talked to many people that have played Breath of the Wild multiple times over, and they just couldn't wait. Like my buddy Zelda Hat guy, he's taking 2 weeks off of work specifically to play this game.
Oh damn! He's in a part-time job. Okay,
2 weeks. He's like, I'm in it all the way. He's gonna do a live stream tomorrow. All that, it's all of that. And then from a Nintendo standpoint, I mean, these cats don't play in any game that gets dropped or leaked or released. So if anybody's out there dropping any kind of information before this game's released, of course they're going to attack, and they're going to bring their legal team with them. On top of that, they do not play. They do not play.
They're like the Disney of video games, right? Like they come in there like with that iron hammer, and they're like, "Oh, you're gonna take that? Just bam, just break your hand like right in front of God and everybody." They don't even care.
And YouTube don't care because I mean, Nintendo making YouTube money, so and they a big channel. And then YouTube like, well, we ain't getting sued by Nintendo. If you want to put that out and try to be the first one, and that's I'm gonna let Mega and Mega Ran and Mega talk. Both Mega Man. Both Mega Man fans talk. I was seeing all these Mega right here. I'm like, I like the old Mega Man cartoon. Mega. Remember how bad that cartoon was? Oh my gosh. Anyway, Nintendo ain't messing around, yo. Like you wanted to like be famous, or like, hey, Undertaker, pretend like Undertaker, I'm gonna make you famous. Like, all right, and they didn't care. They were blocking female channels. They were blocking channels that had like they blocked IGN. They made IGN redo their stuff. I was like, wow, Nintendo's not playing. They don't want you to show anything.
Power of the big end, baby. That's the power.
Yeah. Man, what do y'all think? What do y'all think?
Well, somebody mentioned in the chat RGT85. And he said something, and I was like, well, I'm curious what you guys think. This tweet he put up, it said, today is a perfect example, this is from a couple of days ago, of why I'm not a Nintendo YouTuber.
RGT the chat, yeah, that
Nintendo YouTuber says they're disappointed in Switch sales, and that they're slowing down, but yet you have these morons doing mental gymnastics and saying that it's false.
It is, man. It's crazy as hell. Why? I mean, the Nintendo don't give a shit. And I hate to say that they don't. They care, but they don't care. They care, but they don't care. They want to control the freaking narrative. You know, it's like it's crazy. Like some people depend on this stuff, but also you gotta do it the right way. You can't be just leaking their stuff. But Nintendo don't give a shit. They didn't care. They took down so many people's channels. They did like they did RGT. They did something to him too. So I understand why you be pissed off about that. You know.
I think they took that. I think they struck all of. I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with Alana Pierce. She used to work with IGN. Now she works with Sony Santa Monica now, like on God of War and things like that. All she was doing was reacting to gameplay. Nintendo said, "Oh no, you got pictures and videos of that? No, cut that off, B. Like we can't have that here. We can't have that here."
Yeah, that shit's crazy. Yeah, they just like I said, they strike anybody. They didn't care, and it was a little obsessive. I was like, "Come on, Nintendo! Like, really? People are excited about this stuff, but I wasn't risking it.
I wouldn't dare risk it. Yeah, that was like I've never even seen that happen. Like on Twitch, like maybe they get you on the VOD, you know, in the replay. But they got her Twitch midstream.
Yeah,
like, it was like, and. Not like she was playing it. She was reacting to somebody else's video, and they were like,
"The Nintendo ninjas are everywhere, bro. They're hidden. Like I'm talking about, they are the most stealthy individuals in all of gaming. They will cut you. I mean, they'll shut a White House broadcast down if it's. That's how powerful they are."
Oh my god,
White House, bro.
Man, all you need to do if you ever want to like record some stuff that you want to have a safety thing, you just make sure you play some Disney music in the background and talk about Nintendo. I mean, that video get yanked
real quick.
Oh man.
I hope they don't take us down. We just talking about it. It's coming out. We
didn't say anything incriminating about the game. We said we wanted to buy the game Nintendo for all the Nintendo ninjas that might be.
I want to show y'all a picture of a spoiler real quick from the game. Nah,
hold on.
The channel goes off air. Hold on a second. Let me ask you guys a real collector question, though, right? So each one of the stores has different swag. Walmart has 2 murals, a black one and a gold one. Best Buy has a print lithograph. GameStop has the sleeve and the charcuterie board. Amazon doesn't have anything because Amazon is trash. And there's the collector's editions. So which ones did you guys get? Or are you like one of those collecting people that like, no matter what, you're going to order all the different ones and get all the swag and then sell off all your extra copies?
That's you.
That's me. I'm telling on myself.
I would say me personally, I mean, as like a physical collector of like a bunch of collection editions that I got around me, I typically go for those, like the ones like the statues, figurines, like replica swords, things like that. That's what I typically go for. I do know a few individuals who will like if different establishments have different items, they have collection editions. Like one has a book, one has like some lithographs, steel book, stuff like that. They will literally on launch day go around to all the different ones if they have pre-ordered for them and pick up each and every one. So I mean, I wish my bank account was looking that good, but you know, I just want to own the game, one version of it, and then later on, you know, if I catch them on eBay on the sale, I mean, I'll go ahead and swipe some up. Let's see if I can find them for a good price.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Speaking of, since you mentioned eBay, do any of you guys like, you remember back in the day when E3 was a thing? It's like the swag. Would you guys go pick up swag from E3 on eBay?
No, I wouldn't.
No, like it just because you just don't know how authentic that really was. And also too,
I picked up so much Gears of War stuff online that way. It's not even funny. Every T-shirt, everything.
It's good if it's not overpriced. Because sometimes, like, I bet if I go look at this, what it said is cutlery board, chicory board, whatever this cheese
it's
board.
$200 on eBay, right?
I bet it is about $200 right now, and somebody will pay for it. And I always think like, all right, somebody put one on, say, hey, buy for $200, I'll give you money back, so they can like. I really do think sometimes that goes on, but I try. Me as a collector, I really try to go and just get the ones that I want. Like, I would like to get the one at Target, the one at Walmart. I don't know if they had it like out. But me,
what did Target put out?
Target put out like a duffel bag or something.
Ooh, a duffel bag. Okay.
Some kind of bag.
Target.
Some kind of bag.
Target, but I don't know if they're gonna send that to me or not.
Justin said, "I'll buy yours."
I'm not selling it. Did Justin say that?
Yeah, I'll buy your cutlery boards. I'm gonna keep it. What's wrong about? I keep going back to this board. This board is really freaking. It's nice. It smells like wood, but I look at a couple of them. They smell like wood. That wood in my hand.
Smelling like wood is one thing, but
what is it? Oak? What is it? Velvet?
What? It's all like that's that freshly colored pine right there.
Now you know, a lot of black folks ain't gonna want to mess with this. Look at all this evil stuff on here. Look like, what's that, man? What you bring it up my house?
That's why I said you need to get the tri cheese, and then get you the Master Source pastrami on that board. You be good to go.
Hey, they do got Master Sword cutting swords. I saw one time.
That's even better. Then you got that for presentation.
I know, right? I'm sorry, little new YouTube channel, Zelda Cooking.
Zelda.
Zelda Cook Link.
It's literally gonna be a cooking channel dedicated to just throwing a whole bunch of random stuff like in a big ass pan. You just
pot.
Yep.
Man, I got so caught up on Breath of the Wild on just cooking. Like once you start figuring some things out, you're like, I'm gonna try this. And so I just spent a whole day one time just cooking.
That's when I took a break because I'm like, why am I cooking so much? I need to get on with the game.
Right. I'm like, what's happening here? I need to finish this game.
Hey, y'all ever when y'all was cooking, ever got struck by lightning?
I did.
Like,
yes.
Yeah, I did. I'm like, what
happened to a neighbor? Never happened to me though. Thank God.
Man, it was like it always would rain. That's what kind of made me. It was always rain. And then I'm cooking, you know. I'm like really? I just got this got. And then you had to go get the lightning, lightning armor, or not armor, but clothes or something like that stuff. Man, it's like when you hear that thunder and like, I got to go somewhere. It's gonna find you. Yeah, it's gonna find you. Like I remember one time it was pretty funny. I heard the thunder crackling and it said, I knew it was about to come. Pause. And then I rolled. And it struck somebody else. It struck one enemy. I was like, oh snap! Wow. I kept on going. I was like, let me get at this little. Oh man, it's some weird stuff that happened in that game. I mean, it's really good, but they saying it's gonna be 80 hours for this game to do everything. Man,
I'm sure it's gonna be.
That's about right.
Yeah, I would say like upwards to 100 plus if you try to do like all the side quest stuff. Because from reviews I was hearing, if you try to do a dedicated side quest, you run and do that, you'll get completely sidetracked and spend like 8 hours doing something that's completely different than what that side quest entails. Wow. So I've been seeing a lot of that. So it's very engrossing, and people were calling it the next Elden Ring. Because all the stuff that's going on within the world. So I expect to at least get like 200 hours plus in this game easily.
It's gonna be. It's giving you everything, and then like Nintendo said, you don't need another Switch, and they proved it. They said we gonna pack everything out of that Switch and gonna give it to you. this release
they
kind
sucked the
of
marrow out of this thing. At this point, they just threw bones in a pot and made soup. I mean, like, I'm like, come on, man. Like, go ahead and give me the Switch 2 and hurry the hell up. Like, because you know they're going to re-release this game. It'll probably be $10 upgrade just to be able to run it at 60 frames a second. And it's going to be on the Switch 2, which I predict will be out probably, spring of next year, right? Like March, April, May.
I say winter of next year. I say November next year.
Definitely.
And then probably, when they release it, they probably have like new Mario Kart, have a new Mario, a Metroid, then the Zelda. It'd probably be like
Metroid and Mario 4. Yeah, I think the next Mario game will be on the Switch too.
Yeah, but like this Zelda will have all the like downloaded content and everything. It'd be like deluxe Zelda, whatever it's gonna call
like Game of the Year editions and stuff like that.
Yeah,
remasters.
Or the complete edition. Yeah.
Hopefully they do a Dread too, man. That Metroid Dread was popping. I love that game.
Dread.
Yeah, that game was great.
Yeah, I can't believe they.
I would like to see more of that.
Man, all them GameCube stuff. They need to bring more GameCube remasters back, just because the GameCube prices are freaking crazy.
I think honestly they're saving a lot of those for like the Switch 2 or whatever is going to be like the evolution of what the Switch Online is. I think they're saving a lot of those for their next generation.
Oh yeah,
especially how Metroid Prime Remaster turned out. Woo, that was popping. I said, well, y'all gotta bring out more. I was like, there's so many games that stuck on that system that just if you just remaster them and bring them up to gauge standard, they're better than some of the
Didn't they sell like 1 million copies of the remaster?
I think they sold like upwards 2 million.
I know I contributed with the amount. I bought 3 of them joints. Like I was searching and all the GameStops were sold out, and I went to a Walmart and they were like, "Yeah, we got 5 in the back." I'm like, "Let me get 2 of them." And then I had already ordered one directly from Nintendo. And I'm like, "Shit!"
And that was a backup because sometimes those things from Nintendo they don't be shipping right, man.
Man, the one I got from Nintendo was the most immaculate looking one out of all of them. It was perfect.
Yeah,
not a blemish on it. And I was like, "Ooh!"
Wow.
It was handpicked by Shigeru Miyamoto himself.
It was. It had to have been.
Yeah.
Dude pulled out his iron and creased the cover for you. He was like, "What's up?"
Steam press and everything.
Like
got the starch out and everything.
That the Metroid Prime Remaster just hit 1.1 million sold, and as of 3 days ago, and the Switch is now at 125 million units.
Oh wait, you know what? I think what they're trying to do is to break the all-time record of units sold before they release the Switch 2.
They going after PlayStation 2 record. That's what they're doing.
If them numbers, they hitting it. They hitting it like.
Oh, they hitting it. This Christmas, they gonna hit it.
So let me ask you guys real quick. Do you think the Switch 2 is just going to be basically same form factor, same? You can still use the Joy-Cons. They're just going to have better hardware internally, or do you think it's going to be the hardware is going to be in the dock, and that type of thing? Like, how do you guys think they're going to do the Switch 2?
I think that it's going to be a little smaller, backwards compatible, better OLED, 10 times better OLED, faster, probably like a little bit faster or better than the Steam Deck. And I think this is just wishing. I'm not gonna say. Maybe they may make I want them to make a device where you can hook up like 3DS and DS games like that. That would be like a slot for that. But that's just wishful thinking. But I really do think that because right now most of the cards are like 16 gigabyte cards, or like
32.
They're really small. 32. So, I really think it's going to be even bigger cards than that, because I think Nintendo's going to stick with this kind of form factor. And I think they're going to bring out 2 versions. I think they're going to bring a digital one out because, with a lot of bigger RAM, and they're going to bring a regular one out that has, like for the old school people, you can do backwards compatible stuff. So I think it's going to be 2 versions of that. I think they're going to do the one that's digital only first and scare a lot of collectors, and they're like, what are we going to do backwards compatible? But then at the end, it's going to swing around and say, oh, you can have backwards compatible too.
I would hope they don't do that.
No, I think there'll be one Switch 2, and I think they'll have a Switch 2 Lite. You know how they always like to release something every a couple of years or whatever? I think that's
what I'm talking about. The Switch Lite, would it be like all digital? I think that'd be one like that though. I think it'd be 2 SKUs when it open up.
You think they'll have 2 SKUs at launch?
Yeah, I think so.
No, that's not Nintendo's vibe at all.
Like Nintendo. Yeah, that's not Nintendo.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they did it with the Wii U and they did it with the Wii, right?
Yeah, but those are just straight consoles, right? So
Yeah, but the one was 8 gig and one was 32. One was black, one was
but
white.
Who actually bought that one? Like nobody.
You?
No.
Me?
No, I got the real one. I got the black one, not the white one.
This is the real one.
He did the real one.
No,
The white one. That's the fake one.
Hey, and I hope it's gonna go when I say this, but the white one is gonna be more collectible, especially in box.
You
And
think
white-
so?
I mean, probably.
Yes.
Like
Yes.
just because it's rare. I mean,
Yes.
there's several Wii games that came out at the very. I mean, Wii U games that came out at the very end of the
Oh,
you know,
and I got the whole
console's
collection. I know.
lifespan that are worth a lot of money.
Oh, I got them. I got the whole collection. Oh, 3DS too. But I'm telling you, the white one. Excuse me, because look at the Wii U. The Wii U is almost kind of like the Dreamcast. Look at any failed Nintendo console. Look at the Virtual Boy. The Virtual Boy, you're trying to get that whole set. You still try to get a good working Virtual Boy, and also games in a box is going to cost you, just like it's going to cost you later on with the 3DS. Look at the Wii, and then the Wii U going to be the same thing. Look how the Dreamcast is. Dreamcast is still loved, but I don't think it's gonna be loved as the Dreamcast because that pad you just can't take it around nowhere. But it's gonna be a really nice collector's item. And once the Wii starts selling like the NES, like 10 years from now, people are gonna go back and want those Wii U's if they're still working, you know, because the gamepad. But those white ones that didn't sell a lot, and they're gonna be unique. The white one, and then they're like the Zelda pad, the Zelda Wii U pad. People are trying to get those because people gonna figure out how to reboot those things and do different stuff on it. And I think the white one is going to be really, really collectible.
Fair point.
Yeah, because it just...
You know, I'll be honest, though. I'm not super retro when it comes to the gaming. Like, I always want the bigger, better, sweeter, version. And then for anything I want to emulate or whatever, I'm on the PC. Like, that's my, normal balance of things.
Yeah. I mean...
I think for Switch 2, and this is my personal belief, I think it's probably going to be one SKU, so it's not going to be like different variations of like one's more powerful and one's weaker. But I do think that the Switch, in terms of like the actual hardware itself, the handheld, that's probably going to have a bigger bumps within specs, and then the actual dock itself, that's going to have more specs than that to increase the power and resolution, or just the overall aspects of how the Switch is. But I do think they might release it to where it's kind of like 3 SKUs, to where it's the same system, but one, if you don't want the dock with it, they just sell the handheld by itself, and then they sell the dock by itself. So that's why I personally think they might end up doing, just in case you want to spend, let's say, upwards like $400, or however much things is going to cost. So they might just separate it to where there's a Switch and the dock together, and then there's one to Switch by itself, and then dock.
I don't know, man, because that fractionates your install base, right? Like all of a sudden, some people like, well, I've got the one with the docks, and then it's like when you're making games, that means you're going to have to make it for the base hardware and not the people who have the dock. I think that it just needs to come with the dock or whatever. Like it needs to be one SKU. Microsoft has recently kind of just showed us.
Yeah, gamer, hold on. We before you go on, we gotta let our boy Mega Ren. He gotta get on. He got a family night. He gotta get. Yes, sir. He gotta get everything done, man. Thank you for joining us tonight. Thank you for the limited time because we figured ready to talk a lot.
I know, man. This is my kind of conversation. I'm ready to dig in, but I gotta run. Take care of the kiddo. But this has been dope, man. Please, I would say, please have me back again, man. I would love to come back and chat with y'all.
Hey, sir, we'll have you back too, man. Yes, sir. Definitely, brother.
Pleasure meeting you, Mega Ram.
All right. Take care, y'all.
Take care, brother.
Have a good night.
Peace. All right, gamer. Now you can go. I'm sorry, I mean to cut you off.
It's like, like we're looking at kind of some of the fallout from like the dual SKU situation with like Microsoft when it comes like the Xbox Series X versus S. I mean, the difference between the Series X and the S is like pretty significant, right? And so, it's like I kind of got into it with some people on Twitter about this earlier today, actually. No,
like not Alex.
It's like actually yesterday, but it was the whole balance, right? Like because Microsoft has like these parity clauses when it comes to certain features in games, and split screen is one of them. And so there's a game coming out called Baldur's Gate 3, which honestly, if you're going to play it on PC because that's where it was born and that's its origin, right? But it's coming out. It's been announced. PlayStation 5, Xbox. They're like, well, we're still trying to figure out if we can make this game. Come up. What's up, Philip?
I remember hearing that.
So it's like one of those situations where they're like, well, we can't get the split screen to work. Well, if you can't get the split screen to work, there's a hardware difference between those two SKUs. Why, you know what I'm saying? It's like
Xbox is so trash now, man. Nobody
it breaks my heart though. I love Xbox.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a Gears of War guy. Like,
yeah,
I'm like, please,
we ain't gonna
our
do
Xbox
please.
is our Xbox
Just-
is dead.
You know what I would do?
No, it's
Hold on,
not
I got a
dead.
solution. Just
It's
listen.
dead. Fucking
If
dead.
Microsoft did exactly what they did with the Red Ring of Death and said, for anybody who bought an Xbox Series S,
They ain't doing
our
that.
bad, here's an Xbox Series X in exchange, and they're going to deactivate all the Series S's, right? And then at that point, just sit everything clean and straight and say, hey, now we're going to make sure everything is developed specifically for the Xbox Series X with no S in the picture. I think that would probably fix the problem.
I think they just need not make no X's. I mean no S's, and then give us some like real games and stop trying to worry about these systems.
That's gonna be a lot. That's gonna be a lot of wasted plastic if they do that. I hope that they recycle them things or something. Cause that's
okay.
That's a lot.
Let me go back to the Switch, since that's what we on right now. We had a whole podcast on Xbox. We all know. We
already know that shit is horrible.
You go. No, okay. So the Switch is about to have one of the largest video game libraries.
Oh, absolutely.
Amongst any console of all time. I mean, if you're counting, not even counting just the Nintendo licensed games, but all the limited run games, Pix and Love, all these other, private, studios and all this stuff that publish physical games. If Nintendo decided that they did not want to do backwards compatible, which would be extremely dumb,
extremely petty by them because they probably
would be petty. And have we known them to do things like this in the past?
Oh yes, sir. Absolutely. Yeah. Every generation, damn near.
Exactly. To that point. So, and we as the consumer, especially the consumers like us that like to buy every single variation of everything because, like, hey, it's going to be expensive one day, or I just need it for my collection. I am not going to invest in a Switch 2 if it's not backwards compatible. Period. Done.
Yes, you are.
No, I am not.
Yes, you will.
It took me 3 years to get just a regular Switch.
Okay, all right. I don't think
receipts right here. We got receipts right here. It's recorded. We'll check it out and see what happens.
He said he wasn't. He said he wasn't getting a Steam Deck until we put one up on stream one day. He's like,
I am ready to put my money where my mouth is for this very thing. If they do not be backwards compatible,
you know what he said? Nintendo.
So wait, go ahead.
No, I was just looking at this comment. It said Nintendo are penny pitchers. Yeah, they are. But they will recycle the heck out of old games that people still buy. They know we're gonna do it. Like, we know we're gonna do. We know what we got. Like look at Zelda right now. They knew what they had. They didn't care. That's why they didn't care that Nintendo do not care what people say about them online. I want to be like them because they don't care. They do what they want. They know what they get. Nintendo is like this fool crazy, but you still gonna hang with them,
I'm surprised Nintendo doesn't own the rights to Star Wars because they be straight Jedi mind tricking our asses on every game that gets released.
Hey, that's like you were saying it. If the Switch 2 isn't backwards compatibility, now this is a hypothetical. Yeah. Now let's just say, just hypothetically, if Nintendo did a partnership with BioWare and got the exclusive rights to that Star Wars, nice sort of I'm just saying because if that news ever come out, I'm gonna tweet right. You like,
You knew exactly where to hit.
Like, hold on,
he'll be right there. Be like, here you go.
I'm gonna take an L. I'm gonna take an L on. But you know what? First, I am not going to pre-buy like I did the PS5, thinking that it was going to drop within a year. I need to see the tangible evidence that it's going to be out.
With them commercials. No, they're going to hit you with them commercials.
I don't trust
You're going to be looking, and that thing going to spin around. And say backwards compatible. Your ass like, what can I pre-order?
We'll see.
You know how to learn
Ayo, that was the only game. You knew exactly where to hit me because you knew that would be the only game that would force me to buy another console for something I don't want. So if that does happen, you got me. Yes, I would.
And knowing Nintendo, like, I think when they show the Switch 2, they're not even going to say it's backwards compatible. This is going to be like all Switch 2 stuff. And then like probably a month or two before, they're gonna do another trailer. It's like, oh, guess what? Good news, it's backwards compatible. Oh, now we love you guys again. It's like you see Nintendo when mark my words, on the first Switch 2 trailer, you're gonna see it trending for all the negative reasons on Twitter, and then it gives about another 2 months when they say, oh yeah, it's backwards compatibility. Trend in the United States. Oh, thank God for the Nintendo guys. They listened to us, bro. I knew they wasn't gonna forsake me. I just knew it. Marketing 101, man. Like, you piss people off, get a negative reception, get a lot of people talking about it, and then at the witching hour, it's like, oh, guess what? We on your side. It's backwards compatibility. We didn't forget y'all.
No, they do like doing the mind tricks like that. They do like doing that.
The backwards compatibility thing at this point is like an industry standard. I mean, PlayStation 5's got it, Xbox has got it. I mean, Nintendo would be completely out of touch with reality if they didn't put backwards compatibility in. There's just no way. And the thing is, like, you've got Nvidia, who's supposedly making the innards for the Switch 2. So really, there should be zero issues with backwards compatibility. My understanding is they're just doing a faster, beefier chip with DLSS. And I mean, that's pretty much it. So that you'd be able to, get higher frame rates and higher resolution. And so why wouldn't it be able to play those Switch games? You know what I'm saying? And I think that, like, after seeing both the Steam Deck and now the ROG Ally, there's really no reason for them not to, like, kind of go after it a little bit and make sure that backwards compatibility is there. Because if it's not there, it's going to hurt them. It's really going to hurt them.
And then when you think about it, a lot of their titles have Nintendo quotes it. They're evergreen, so they put out one title, that thing will sell for years upon years. Like Mario Kart 8, that thing is what, like damn near close to like 50 million. Like every single Switch that's sold, there's like 95% chance that game is sold with it. So for Nintendo to pass up a chance of selling Mario Kart for another upwards to 10 years, because we ain't getting Mario Kart 9 anytime soon. I'm gonna tell you that right now. Like they would be idiotic for that. They definitely pulling a Rockstar move with putting out one game, eating off that thing for years and years.
Well, but you have to remember too, right? The Switch is really the promise of what the Wii U was supposed to be. Like the Wii U is the prototype of the Switch, and the Switch is literally like, hey, this is what we were actually aiming for. And so now that they got that down, it's just like, if I were Nintendo, I would just make a bigger, stronger, faster, more performant version of the Switch, and people are going to be great. You're going to be able to extend that library for another 6 to 8 years easy. So you have 16 years potentially of games playing on effectively the same system.
4K?
Yeah. You know they're gonna do that. Yeah, you know they're gonna do 4K because everybody be doing 8K and they're gonna be doing 4K.
I think eventually they might. I think eventually they might circle back around to doing like a 2-screen setup. Like for some reason, I just keep thinking they're gonna do that again. I don't know why.
I don't like that.
Why though? I mean,
but that 2-screen setup lasted 12 years? Well, hold on.
Well,
wait. The 3DS was 10 years. The DS was another 5 or 6 or 7. From the original DS to the 3DS, because the 3DS was a 10-year. But I would say just right now, while looking it up, 12 years. That's a long time making a handheld.
Well, what is it? The Surface Duo, like it's got the flip open screen. I can see something like that maybe, but I mean, again, that's really expensive. There's no way Nintendo's going to spend that kind of money.
No,
unless they like making a profit off of each hardware unit. So they're going to have a beefier Switch, processor with some modern tricks and maybe a better screen, but they're going to keep it to where they're still making, $50 a unit from day one.
DS was 06. God dang.
Yeah, that was a minute ago, bro.
Woo. I bought it in 06.
Shoot.
Dang. When it first came out?
Yeah. I remember when New Super Mario Brothers came out. That was so not impressive.
Oh yeah, that was killer, because that was the reason that made me get I'm gonna say Switch. That almost made me get a DS Lite. Actually, I did maybe get a DS Lite because I think that game came out with it.
Yeah, because it was a DS, and then they shrunk it down to the regular DS Lite. Then it was a DS something, and then they got bigger. Yeah, DSi. And then they went bigger, the DSi XL. And then they went to 3D. and then they repeated the whole process over again.
They were damn near close to releasing the 3DS XXX. I mean, I'm just
yeah, I agree with
Yeah,
that.
I still have the Zelda 3DS bundle, like mint and package.
Oh, did
Like,
you have
package?
was it the Majora's Mask one, or was it the Ocarina of Time one? Because I have
it's the Ocarina of Time. I have it downstairs. I have to go and check, go through my inventory. I think it's the Ocarina of Time.
You heard me say inventory. He didn't say collection. Inventory. We got a resell of one of my friends.
This is my inventory right here. I'm like, damn. He's like, I got to go downstairs to my inventory.
He has the whole warehouse down there.
He got the biometric scanner and the fingerprint recognition and all that.
Look, I promise you, I'm very close to being done with my setup. So when I get done with my setup, then you guys will be able to kind of see what's up, and you'll be like, "Oh shit!"
You've been doing this for the last 6 years. Your setup, man. I know you've been busy in school and everything and working, but man, you've been saying that since the Xbox generation.
Damn,
360.
It's coming. It's coming.
Yeah,
you can't rush stuff like that, man. Come on
really
now,
can.
Man, like Alex's motto was just like Xbox. All the games is coming. It's coming. It's coming.
Wait till next year.
Wait till next year.
Just wait.
Xbox. They like
the ongoing joke. It's gonna
Just
be
call
the
me Uncle
ongoing
Phil.
joke.
I'm like the Uncle Phil of collecting.
Xbox will get jokes for that all the time. Xbox.
No, but you know what though? Not gonna lie, I know that we're talking about Zelda and stuff right now, but man, Starfield, come on! I'm rolling the dice on this one. I think we have potential here.
3 weeks from now, mad as hell.
You know what I heard the rumor was though, right? That apparently id Software is redoing a lot of the first-person shooter combat mechanics and stuff like that.
Oh, really? Oh, that's a godsend. That's a godsend if they are.
Because if they fix that, bro, it's gonna be great.
They need this. They need this win. I want them to win with this. Megan, you had said something in the chat earlier talking about. They said, "Now tell me about what about Starfield is going to be." They said it's supposed to have what now?
Oh yeah. They released more, I guess, news about the game, and apparently, the game is gonna have space drugs and space sex. I don't know what that means, but I'm assuming if space drugs, that got to be out of this world, man. And space sex, I don't know if you guys play games like Mass Effect, but it's probably gonna be on some it's probably gonna be on some intergalactic.
That's what I was gonna ask. Is it gonna be like Mass Effect? Or is it going to be like immersive? Like, I'm like, wait a minute. Are we talking about immature rating?
I have no idea. So
this would make a good real Cowboy Bebop game. You know what? Starfield just need a Cowboy Bebop skin over it, and it'd be perfect.
Oh my god!
Think about it.
And then once the sex scene initiates, it's like, see you later, cowboy. It's like, oh man, I want.
No,
like, oh man, you.
Hey, just think if they get on PC. I want somebody that I would buy a PC for that. Somebody made a mod that'd be Cowboy Bebop over Starfield. Wouldn't that be dope?
You guys, the modding community is absolutely going to do apeshit stuff with Starfield. Like it's going to be nuts.
That's
like I don't think any game is going to have been like once the mods hit, they're going to have like. Okay, they have almost 1,000 planets. They could literally make one planet and just mod out the entire planet. And then imagine there's 999 more planets like that. Like, it's going to be absolutely insane by the time it's all said and done.
Wow.
That's going to be...
The mod community is the reason why Skyrim has been alive for damn near 12, 13 years. So it's
a lot of games.
It's going to be crazy. It's going to be crazy.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Well, so... it would be dope if the developers did like an interactive Forge world inside of the game, kind of like with Halo, where you're just building, but just more in-depth and immersive, where they allow them to build planets and create within the game. You know, just more immersive, where everybody can be a part of that. Instead of just one portion of the mod community, it could be people on console doing it too. I don't know. It's just thoughts rolling in my head. I could be completely off base here.
Well, you know, one of the interesting things about that game, apparently it's like they have some elements of it that are procedurally generated. So like when you go to a planet, there's some procedurally generated things that are there. And so it seems like everybody's experience is going to be slightly different as a single player kind of campaign. So I'm curious to see how that plays out. I don't know if I believe that exactly, but that is definitely something that's different and interesting.
Yeah,
it's gonna be really interesting.
I'm scared. I'm scared though, because
but the only reason I'll say I'm scared is because Bethesda Softworks themselves haven't had. Well, they've. Now, don't get me wrong; they've had monumental successful games, but the last one, Fallout 76, that one kind of put a little bit of a bad taste in my mouth. But granted, I hope and assume. Well, I hope and assume that they learned their lesson, but I pray that we're not in the mindset of we release a game and then the game has hella bugs. Oh, don't worry, those bugs are features, and then we just all take it. It's like nah. Hey, look, we're done with that era, bro. Like never again. They pulled the wool sheets over our eyes for some years now. Now it's just we can't go back.
Oh, not Cyberpunk effed
These
up.
days, just Starlight says Starfield gonna be more effed up than Cyberpunk 2077.
No. If that happens, it's a wrap. If that happens,
not going to be the case.
If that is the case, though, it's a wrap.
You think so?
It would be a wrap. Like I don't know what game you could bring back or bring out that would be able to weather the blow or the backlash of another failed game on Microsoft's platform.
Anticipated that because this game's supposed to come out last year and then they got pushed to this year. And just seeing the state how it was when they last showed it, I mean, it looked all right, but literally people are arguing whether it's going to be a good game or not because Bethesda games, them things hit. When they come out, them things really hit. The only issue that people are really worried about is how it's going to perform from a technical standpoint. If it don't have 60 frames per second mode or some type of performance mode when it comes out, and it's riddled with bugs, those two things alone is going to absolutely destroy that shit when it comes out. So those two aspects.
So like Zelda's point in the chat, like, is it on a new engine?
I don't know.
No, I think it's still on the creation engine. If I remember correctly, it's. Man, they've been patching that thing like a 1934 sunroof, man. They just hey look, like the foundation's still there. Just keep putting some more slabs on it. It's good. It'll hold.
I know there's lead under there, but it's okay.
It's okay.
Boy, that thing been
sounds like an 84
since,
Cutlass.
Like how long have they been working on that thing, Alex? Like what, since Morrowind?
Yeah. Like, I mean, my understanding is that they've added, like, so it's the version 2 of that engine, right? But it's still got its hooks into the old engine. And they've put in a lot of extra stuff. Because, like, for example, like when they were doing Fallout, they had a problem with trying to get like a rail car like set up right. And so what they ended up doing is they created a little person with a rail car for a head, and then they put it under the map. And so then that person would walk and it would look like the rail cars moving. So there's all kinds of like, kind of just...
They are patching that thing.
Yeah. I mean, they've done a lot to it. But I mean, and it's kind of funny, right? Because it's like they got a lot of criticism because they're like, why not use a real engine, like Unreal Engine 5 or something like that,
Probably.
I think it's mainly because the type of games that like Fallout and Elder Scrolls are. Because when you think about it, there's like a lot of stuff you can do on there. Like, especially when it comes to like questing, whenever you go to like different areas, like exploring the open world. Most of the times you're not loading, like everything's just there unless you go into like dungeons and stuff like that. And then from a modding standpoint, because how Elder Scrolls were, those games fit really well on like PCs, like especially nowadays. But back then, that's what they were mainly built for. But I'm assuming it's mainly for, like I said, just a modding standpoint, and that engine just allows them more flexibility and the freedom just for people to go in there and pretty much do whatever the hell they want when it comes to like making content.
You can mod on anything, right? Like, I mean, even GTA 5, like there's plenty of GTA 5 mods that are out there, and it wasn't even designed for modding.
There's some fire ones.
They've been having whole episodes and stuff on YouTube.
And I think Bethesda's logic is like, hey, look, we can't fix that shit. Why don't y'all fix it? The engine's right there. So look, if it ain't 60 frames when we get it, hey, like y'all some technical wizards, y'all keyboard developers, go fix it yourself.
Let me ask y'all this question.
Mm-hmm.
Do you, when it comes to a fire game that gets dropped, let's say it's got a couple of bug issues that a couple of patches will fix, but the story is super fire. Mm-hmm. Do you give it a pass, or do you still say no, fix your shit, I'm not playing it?
I think now that people notice it, like it's been like Zelda Head guy was talking about, like Fallout 4, that was like uncommon. Now it's like every other release is buggy, trashy, ain't ready, and like more the mainstream is like, okay, what's going on? Mm-hmm. It's like everybody, like one bad apple spoils a bunch, and all those bad apples and get ready to spoil a bunch for Xbox. And I really feel sorry for them, because you're like, all the L's have been taken. Yeah. Starfield doesn't live up to the hype, and some of the stuff is self-inflicted wounds that they did to themselves from last year. And all this is like all these dominoes setting up for them to fall. And it was like, what is going on? I feel bad for them, because like if this don't, like I said, nobody really going to forget. And way people are now on the internet now too, because like Fallout 4 really didn't, people like they laughed at it and like, okay, let's move on. But now, since COVID, people are watching real careful, like Cyberpunk, Pokemon, the other stuff that been messed up, there's other little games, Redfall, and then now but it's also too, all these L's was on one system that claims to be the most powerful in the world, and people like, what are y'all doing? They ain't gonna get this pass. They don't give the pass. There's no pass. I don't think they hall passes is gone.
No.
They use hall passes.
Bro,
they can't go.
They've had 11 years of hall passes. Yeah. 11 years. I think that like I'm a diehard Xbox guy, and even I'm at the point now where I'm like, bro, it's like,
I know,
either you're gonna put up or you're gonna shut up, because it's like my patience is run thin with you guys. I mean, there's only so much goodwill. There's only so many times that you could be like, okay, guys, next year we're gonna have all these great games. And I'm like, no,
you said $70 too. Like,
yeah, that's the thing.
Nobody want to waste their money.
Microsoft is under the microscope, and I promise you, it's like this Starfield game is going to be the most like analyzed, because they're going to be like no goodwill, no deep breaths, nothing. They are coming for Microsoft's neck, and if they don't deliver, bro has to put 11 out of 10 game out there. If he doesn't put an 11, 10 out of game, and now I know there's going to be tons of people that are going to be hating on me for saying all this stuff, but I'm like, I need that game to be an 11 out of 10. I want somebody to be like,
same. I agree with you. I do think it's going to be under a microscope, and then like people, like you were saying, Alex, it's really going to be dissected to the point to where how people are playing it, they're going to do like the frame rate analysis, resolution, stuff like that. If they see 1 pixel, that light came from the PS3 generation, 0 out of 10. Like if it gets to them, if it gets to them levels, like it's GG for Microsoft. It's like, it literally, like you were saying, it has to be 11 out of 10 game. Like, this is probably going to be the most analyzed game of 2023 by far, with how Microsoft's treating it easily. So they got no choice.
And quite frankly, what the biggest problem is? It's like Microsoft has all this money, and they have all of Bethesda. Like, they should have had like an emergency meeting and said, I don't care what projects y'all are working on. Everybody stop. Everybody come and work on Starfield. I want 3,000 people working on this game round the clock to make it. I don't care about crunch. I'll pay everybody double. I don't give a damn. But this game needs to be the shining example, the paragon of next generation gaming that all other games are compared to. And if you cannot deliver, then that's it. And I mean, that's the level. Again, I'm gonna make a Friday reference. It's like Big Worm. It's like, you playing with my money is like playing with my emotions, and it's like 100% fact. Like, this has to be it. You have to sell that entire key of marijuana. If you don't do it and give me my money, we got some problems.
Yeah.
Well, and to that point, right? You have now they've backed themselves in a corner to where, before, there was a bug here or two. Okay, the game maybe got a 7. Okay, whatever. A couple patches later and it's over. But you continuously have that. Now you have not only, I think, Steve, you talked about this last week, where now you've got other media outlets honing in on it that aren't in gaming. Like, they don't specialize in the gaming media, but now they're like, hey, Xbox is taking an L again. Here we go. So now you've got eyes. And what does that do from an outside perspective for people that invest in Microsoft? You know, if they say like, hey, what are you guys doing from this division of your business? You're losing money. Okay, I'm gonna sell. I'm gonna sell my, you know.
No. But hold on a second. Let me put a pause on that.
Hold on.
Put a pause on that. And there's a reason.
Hold on. Because they're saying like what I feel like those corporate guys at Xbox, what you were saying, I think they'll shut this stuff down. They're like, you know, you gotta sell this, shut it down, do what you gotta do, because they ain't in the room for losing money. Because it's different. Like if you looked at that documentary, they didn't even really want the Xbox to succeed. Bill Gates didn't want the Xbox after he wanted like perfect. But you know, they didn't want that. That's like, why are we getting in this? We don't need that. We Office, we this, we that. Let Nintendo and PlayStation do all that kind of stuff. I don't want a 2-people race. I want 3, 4, maybe. You know, when Sega left, look how that was.
Yeah, that was sad.
Sega, that was sad. Like
that was so sad.
That was like when like WWE bought WCW for the wrestling. Like you want competition, you want good competition, and they so worried about buying everybody out and stuff. And going back to you saying all these news outlets, we got even people here on YouTube like me, other people doing reviews, doing news and stuff, and it's not like it used to be no more. It's not like G4 TV and like, oh, we get a little blanket statement and haha. No, people are like in their ass and say, no, this is crap, change and stuff. Go ahead, Alex.
What I was going to say was, it's like if you look at it, Microsoft share prices have done fantastically well. In fact, it's gone up over the last several years. So what that tells us is that, you know, Microsoft is not dependent on Xbox at all. In fact,
absolutely not.
Their number one moneymaker is their cloud infrastructure, the Azure backbone and all that. Their cloud services make more money than pretty much all of the other divisions combined. So. You know, and then after that is Office and Windows and all that stuff. And so Xbox is like third. I take that back. It's fifth in their total revenue generation. So it doesn't even move the needle. They could be doing, you know, horrible business and they're still fine. Case in point, look at the entire Xbox One generation, right? Like they were like, okay, whatever. You're just the little redheaded stepchild that nobody cares about. In fact, it's like, you know, Satya Nadella came out and said, we are now talking about this generation. We are now going to pull Xbox into one of the core pillars of Microsoft. So after saying that, we're still seeing problems. So, you know, there's a point where if Xbox revenue drops down to about the $2 billion a year range, they will probably stop making Xboxes. They're making about they're making about $8 billion a year plus or minus on Xbox. As soon as that tanks, that's the end of Xbox as a hardware manufacturer. It'll be 100% software after that.
So what they're gonna do with all these people they bought? Then they're gonna just divide them off, sell them off again.
They're gonna be like Don Max. They're gonna be like, we got a product for you. It's called your TV. It's called the cloud.
They'll be a publisher. You'll see Microsoft Game Studios on PlayStation, Microsoft Game Studios on Nintendo, Microsoft Game Studios on PC, and quite frankly, it's like, you know, Microsoft could focus all of their energy on the PC market without even worrying about an Xbox and just have Xbox branded PCs.
Or Game Pass that's just on any, you know, smart TV.
Yeah, because nowadays
the smartest thing would be.
What's that?
If on the Xbox Series X they released Office, and then kids could use that in college and stuff like that to do their word processing and stuff.
Oh yeah,
that would be actually rather. That would.
Let's go backwards. Let's put the word processor on the game machine.
While we talking about this stuff, what if this is Xbox big plan? This hypothetically, like they don't care about us bad news, as long as they staying in the news, and this is their ultimate goal to like be the world's largest gaming publisher.
I mean, they're almost there.
They say what they say. No news is bad. Yeah. No bad news is good news, or whatever.
Controversial paid cash.
Yeah.
No. What do they say? It's like it's this little saying about publicity. Bad publicity is better than no publicity.
Yeah.
I mean, and in my back of my mind, I'm really thinking this is their goal. Like they like, you know what? Let's squeeze this box out so many times, because way digital stuff is, I really do think they don't care about being. I think they care about being the largest publisher, because in the end they're gonna be making money. Only people who are gonna be hurt is people like us. Well, we really wanted our box. You know, we really wanted this.
Do we want them to turn into the average gaming, you know, episode on every YouTube channel like DK Oldies? Do we really want that to happen where everybody jumps on the bandwagon? They're talking about DK oldies, like, oh, they're shit, they're trash, and like, but everybody's still buying from them.
I mean,
and just bringing more. But
That
I mean,
could be.
I don't think that's
there's a conspiracy theory that's out there too, and I'm not going to give this a lot of air, but there is a conspiracy theory out there that states that the reason why Microsoft is acting like this right now is that they're basically trying to play possum so that they can get this ABK deal through. And once the ABK deal is through, then they're going to all of a sudden be like,
boom,
Super Saiyan and doing their thing, And I'm just kind of like, I doubt that personally because of the whole track record and what's happened over the last 12 years, effectively. Yeah. But there is a contingent of people on the Xbox community that are just like, no, man, they're just pretending this is all strategery, strategy. But I'm just joking, right? Strategery, and it's like strategery. And it's like I'm just sitting there and I'm like, nah, man, y'all are playing too many video games. It's like, I don't think that's realistically how this is all gonna go down. But I mean, there are some people who say that.
It would be dope if they went Ultra Instinct on us and we just, it shocked everybody, shocked the world. It would be dope. But,
You know what, though? Like, here's the deal. We're going to know very shortly because a month from today, we're going to have that showcase. And if that showcase hits and all of a sudden we see some stuff in Starfield and everybody's got like, oh my God, like that's the best thing since sliced bread. You know what I'm saying? Like, so the possibility is there. But I'm not holding my breath with the track record that Microsoft has shown us over the last, decade.
Yeah.
Microsoft.
It's like no matter. It's like, oh, this was running on PC. Look at it. It's like Redfall on PC, and then all of a sudden it's like, look at it play on the Xbox Series X, and it's like, oh, come on, man. 30 frames a second. I'm like,
Microsoft, their logic probably is like, it don't run that way on Xbox, but at least you're playing it on a Microsoft operating system, so we win either way. It's like, come on, bro, like, what are we doing here?
Mm-hmm. There's still new articles about the acquisition right now. I think I've heard like mixed articles where like, oh, it's gonna pass, and then I've heard other conflicting articles where it's still another
one. Yeah, there was another one that popped up saying like now they're reconsidering. The EU is reconsidering letting the deal go through, and we might hear something as early as like the 15th, the 12th, or the 15th, something like that.
Yeah.
Well, the rumor is that the EU is going to pass it. That's the rumor. And so whether that happens,
we're going to talk about that tonight. So let's get into that. We was going to talk about that. So you go ahead and lead that, man. We was going to talk about that.
Well, so the rumor is that the European Union is going to okay the merger. Okay. If that happens, right? Yeah. Then really the only other sticking point is going to be the CMA. And the reason why the FTC is not going to be a big sticking point is because in the United States, they can go outside to an outside court and work their way up, even all the way up to the Supreme Court to get a ruling on this. Well, we know what the court system in the United States is like. Whoever has the most money wins. And so Microsoft will eventually be successful in the United States. So if you get an FTC win and a EU win, then the only other place that said no is the UK. And the question is, well, what does Microsoft do in that situation? Well, first of all, they've got a whole bunch of additional attorneys that apparently know the UK system very, very well and are part of the system, so to speak. It's the King's Council or something like that, and there's attorneys that deal with all this kind of stuff. Now, I'm not an attorney, and I didn't stay at a Holiday Inn last night or anything like that. But, this is definitely one of those things where they're upping their game. My feeling is that if they get the okay from Europe and then muscle their way through the United States, really it's going to be hard to say no overall because they're going to have gotten literally everybody approved except for the UK. Now that begs the question, what does Microsoft do if ultimately they lose in the UK but they've got acceptances everywhere else? Microsoft has options. They could potentially drop Game Pass in the UK. They could, there's all kinds of things that they could do that could, leverage them so that that's not an issue in that market. But I feel like if they can get approval everywhere else except for the UK will eventually capitulate and allow the deal to go through.
Just think if they did drop the UK, that would make a lot of UK gamers mad. But
well, the Xbox would still be there. You just wouldn't be able to use Game Pass. But guess what? Anybody who has even an ounce of a brain knows how to work a VPN and can work their way into getting, because
it's
not going to be a
VPN method.
Yeah.
I mean, hey, Microsoft ain't giving up. Boy, I gotta tell you, Phil Spencer, boy, that mother sucker.
Phil
That
Spencer
boy
breaking out, he breaking
he
out them
ain't
knee,
giving up.
he breaking out them knee pads, man. Like he don't care who he gotta get down on. He's just like, hey, bro, I need this to go through. This is my legacy.
Hey, you know what? If he do get that go through, that is his legacy because he did take Xbox from the one to here, and he them chances they taking. Yeah, he gonna like, you know what? I want that Bill Gates job.
Like,
I mean,
if he can get this to go through, like that will be a
I'm
very
rooting
nice.
for him.
That will be a very nice ticket on his resume. It's like, you got that to go through. Oh, the biggest publisher. Where? Oh yeah, like you going up. It's only up from here.
I mean, I'm ready for the documentary, to be honest. So let's get it done. You know what I'm saying?
I'm
that's
ready
gonna
for
be
that
fire.
movie.
That's gonna be fire, bro.
It's gonna be awesome.
I don't know how many years it's gonna take, but that's gonna be at the top of my watch list when that shit comes out. Like,
hey, I want to see that one. I want to see the Miko documentary.
Ooh, yeah, oh man.
$69 billion dollars, and y'all can't even spend $1 million on a good ass game, man. Damn, give us the games, Microsoft, Xbox. Y'all listening out there? Give us games, man.
And just think about all the time people used to make fun of us for playing video games, and these jokers out here doing $1 billion deals, and people making money off of video games off of channels like this and stuff. Man, video games is probably the number one entertainment in
definitely
it's got,
more than all other entertainment combined.
It's gotta be, because video games are just more than video games. It's when people think of outside person think of video games, they think of Nintendo. They don't think of Xbox. But
no,
just wait.
PlayStation.
PlayStation. Yeah, PlayStation too. More now it's PlayStation, yes, because PlayStation kind of took that Nintendo spot.
Oh, but Nintendo, the tip of the spear. Yeah,
but Nintendo's taking that spot back with the Switch because all the newer generation. It's weird, you know. Like it was Nintendo generation, then it was a PlayStation, and then Xbox was like, and then the PlayStation said, "Gotcha," and we're going back, and then here can Nintendo coming back again. Just look at this Zelda. We're going back to the Zelda thing. This Zelda release. You just really haven't heard a buzz like this in a while. You know, it's huge.
Yeah, that's true.
It's bigger than when Breath of the Wild came out easily. Like a lot of people talking about this. I'm like, damn. I'm seeing people who didn't even care what Zelda was now talking about, oh, y'all seen Tears of the Kingdom? I'm like, damn, I didn't even know you were a Nintendo person. But
I'm gonna make me a video game one day.
No, there's people who are literally buying Switches just to play this one game.
Yes.
Yep.
The hype is real.
And that's what I want for Xbox. I really do want that for Xbox. Like, cause I say, people don't like Xbox. Sucker, I got 360 Neo right here. The glory days. I love the 360, but I want them to have, like we was talking about last week. What does Xbox identify it with? You really can't say. If you ask an average person, who give me an identifiable game on Nintendo, give me one on PlayStation. They'll give it to you.
They give you
Xbox. They gonna say, "Who's that dude?" Halo.
They'll be like, "Yep."
Master Chief.
You talking about Halo? Yeah, it's like that. And that's
Master Chief. Marcus Phoenix.
Halo, Gears and Forza.
Hey, look, probably not even probably not even Gears anymore like that. Because remember, it's like a lot of the initial hype died with Gears after the first trilogy came out. So when Judgment came out, 4 and 5, it's like
Judgment put a knife in that series. I don't know why.
Yeah,
and when Cliffy B left. When Cliffy B left.
Okay, I'll give you some insight about that because I actually had a friend who worked there, and it's like I actually been to Epic Game Studios a couple times, and it's one of the coolest campuses ever. By the way, like they have an entire kitchen just like full of like free food and stuff. They got the small mocap studio that's there. Everybody's offices is like decorated with all kinds of like gear stuff and like models and figurines. It's just awesome. I mean, it's like being in an adult playground without the like Las Vegas reference.
Yeah,
basically it's like if you look at what's behind each and every one of us, right? It's like literally it's like the entire campus, and I'm just like, this is so cool. But anyway, they all got to the point where they were done with Gears, and then they had a contract with Microsoft, and Microsoft was like, well, we still need another game. So they took what was supposed to be kind of some DLC stuff for Gears 3 and then turned that into a full release, which was Gears of War Judgment. And they didn't do it themselves. In fact, they told people can fly who did Bulletstorm and all that stuff because they were purchased by Epic. And they said, you guys make this game. They changed the controller layout, which was a big issue for the OG game, Gears folks. And it was like one of those things. It's like Microsoft actually wanted that, and so they put it out. God. The campaign itself is phenomenal. It's an excellent campaign, but like the multiplayer kind of fell off and got weird. And, you know, Epic was like, we're done with this. So they created that game to fulfill their obligation to Microsoft. And as soon as Microsoft said they wanted to buy it, they were like, bet, here you go. They didn't try to like argue with them or no, this is our IP. It's like literally because they were done with it. Every single person was done. Cliff Bleszinski said he was done, you know, and basically he had some other stuff going on, I think, in his personal life and whatever else. And he kind of moved off and, you know, decided to do his own thing. And, you know, Lawbreakers, I believe, was the game. Unfortunately, they kept it on PlayStation and PC only. It never really hit. And, you know, he actually, I think he's written a book, and there's a lot of good information about that kind of stuff out there. Lawbreakers may actually be coming back in some form or fashion.
I'm hearing that too.
Yeah, but it's like one of those things where it's like, you know, I mean, that whole entire story and that whole entire situation with Gears, like, I don't know. My problem is I'm an ultra Gears head. Like, I have literally all the swag on planet Earth except for like the life-size Marcus Phoenix replica, and I almost bought that. But it was like one of those things where, you know, you know, I mean, that thing is like 7 feet by like 8, you know, 5 feet. It's gigantic.
It's life-size. I've seen it before. I've seen it.
But anyway, it was like one of those things. I had the opportunity. I should have, in retrospect, bought it. But anyway, I could have kept it in storage somewhere. But anyway, it's like, you know, the story and plot and everything, it's like they were like, hey, we're going to kind of bring this back over to Gears, like the original Gears, and focus on the survival horror aspects. And some of the stuff was cool, but the story just didn't hit. Like, you know, the reason why the original Gears worked, because it was designed by the people of our generation. And what I mean by that is the kids that grew up with Terminator, RoboCop, Aliens, Predator, all the over-the-top testosterone 80s guy flicks and stuff like that we all grew up with. They took all that inspiration and made their own story, and it was badass. You had this squad of like these ultra hardcore dudes fighting like these big locusts, and there's brains and guts and all this other stuff. And the sensibilities of people has changed since then, right? Like it was ultra machismo and stuff like that. Now it's like, you know, that you can't focus on those types of things in a game in today's market, because it's going to box you in.
Offend so many people. I'm offended. This game hurts my feelings.
Let me ask y'all a question.
That's not true. Whoever just said that Gears was supposed to be on PlayStation before Microsoft, that's an absolute falsehood. That is completely not true. In fact, the Xbox 360 had a redesign specifically for Gears. That's why they increased the RAM on the system. It was a first party. Gears was never supposed to hit PlayStation, ever.
Hey, you talking to the Gears master here, because one game Alex is known for. This dude loves some. I'm surprised he didn't get a Gears tattoo, but this dude loves some Gears.
Hey, don't have a cog tattoo or nothing.
No, he got all them cogs around the world and stuff. That dude is Gears out. He's probably the number one Gears fan.
You about to say something else?
Yeah, I was gonna say. Okay, let me do this real quick. If there was ever like an old console that's no longer, you know, in existence, it's gone, it's done. If you could bring it back and have a brand new version of that, what console would it be?
Dreamcast.
Any console?
Yeah.
Any console.
Dreamcast.
Why?
Because the Dreamcast, okay, so back in the day, Dreamcast was the best system for fighting games, right? Like Capcom versus SNK 2.
That it was.
I mean, it had everything, like Marvel versus Capcom, like all that kind of stuff. I mean, it was legit, and they had plenty of variety. They had like shooters, they had, you know, all that kind of stuff, and it's like all that stuff. If they did a revamp reboot, bro, it would absolutely kill.
You know what I would say? I say this. I changed my answer, and I would say a Neo Geo. I ain't gonna say, because you know why? Because I would say Neo Geo because the way I love fighting games, and I didn't know I liked fighting games like I did back then. And that system is still today the number one system for fighting games.
Oh, yeah, it's like
number one system.
5% of the library is fighting games.
Yes, and like you, 95% of the game is like you could take
that out, Fighters, Mark of the Guru, all that stuff.
Fatal Fury,
and go to the arcade and play that if you had, you know, like the MVS, the
Samurai Showdown.
AES.
Come on.
Oh my goodness! And then you had the converters now.
Yeah,
I mean,
baby.
This is great. But it'd be the Dreamcast. It'd be the Dreamcast and it'd be the Dreamcast and the Neo Geo, because it just those two didn't live. They lived their potential. They didn't. Okay, Neo Geo was too freaking expensive for the time. But
hell yeah.
It's still too freaking expensive.
I was saying it's been expensive throughout his whole life. So
it's never not been expensive. It's always been expensive.
Shoot, he was talking about buying a PS5. Shoot, you buy this dude got a wall of PS5s right here in the back of there. Look at this.
So the Neo Geo costs the price of a PS5 back in 1990, right? So if you equate that to inflation, you're paying like $1,600
easy
for a console, easy. And now if you buy a Neo Geo Gold, which is the US version, in the box, 2 controllers, the console, all that, and it comes with a game. I mean, you can't buy those less than $25 to $3,000 on a good day, and then if you got one in Super Mint, you're paying $8 or $9,000 for one of those in the box. I'm like, damn. But
do you remember though? Do you remember the old school advertisements? So back in the day, right? It's like they were making fun because they had that like rabid bulldog thing, and it was like, you know, look at these other like cheap ass competitors being 16-bit. We're 24-bit. We can do this many colors. You know, all this other stuff, and it's like they were just like rubbing Nintendo, and like, I mean, and it was marketed as a premium system day one.
Yeah, they said this is 24 bits of power, and they had I think I saw one thing was like punching like a Nintendo and a Sega or something, or sitting on top of Nintendo or Sega, like in the Sega and Nintendo was breaking, and the Neo Geo was on top like this, and it was crazy. I think I saw it in Game Pro. I gotta find one of them old things.
The old school console wars, you know, people think it's Nintendo and like Sega. I'm like, nah, man. Neo Geo came in there with a mallet and was just hitting people in the head. It was like, what's up? Bang!
I couldn't afford that stuff back in the day.
Play Fatal Fury or Art of Fighting on Super Nintendo, Sega Genesis, and Neo Geo. You will see the night and day difference. It's like
of course.
The amount of power. That, I mean, the games were $200 back then. That's insane. And I ain't even gonna get into the prices right now because they're just they all the way up there now. But
I think for me personally, like what I would want to see come back, it would be for all the wrong reasons. It would be the Philips CDI. Now hear me out. The only reason I say that, I would love to see how they would try to navigate today's market to try to bring that out. Kind of like what they were doing with the Amico on television. Like you see how much of a travesty that's turning out. I would just love to see them like try to bulldoze their way to do what they were trying to do back then in today's society. Like that would be. Oh, that would be such delicious Twitter fodder right there. That would just make my happy.
In the Neo Geo Pocket, it was going up against the Game Boy at one point, and it was actually pretty good. I mean, it just didn't have the market for it. The marketing wasn't there.
Weren't those games like $70 each for the Neo Geo Pocket?
They probably were.
Them things were expensive. I only had one game. One game on it, and that was Sonic Adventure Pocket. That was Sonic Pocket Adventure. Yep,
I got it right here. I still don't have games for this Joker because they all expensive.
I had the only game I had on it was the one that was bundled with it, which was Sonic Pocket Adventure. So I said, hey, that's enough for me. Okay, they 70. Oh, yeah, I'm straight. Straight.
The last, here's a testament to the power of that. So if they could equate a new console to be that powerful in today's age, which I know wouldn't be possible, but you know, let's just think. The last game, mind you, the console came out in 1990. The last game created was Samurai Showdown 5 Special that came out in 2004. 2004 was the last game. They had already stopped making consoles, but they were still making games. Let that just sit for a second.
Yeah.
Just because the arcades were, the arcade systems were going. I mean, you had, SNK got bought out and they got rebought and then they purchased back and all this nonsense in the history. But the fact of the matter is that the earlier titles, they were, if they were dropping some of the later titles in the early 90s, it would have wiped Super Nintendo, Sega completely off the map because the graphical capabilities that they were doing in the later games was far more advanced than what they were doing on Super Nintendo and Sega Genesis.
Yeah, because like some of those Neo Geo games I was seeing, like I think it was what Capcom versus SNK Chaos.
Oh, Capcom Chaos,
yeah, Capcom, yeah, boy. I was looking at. I was
Mm-hmm.
like, damn, that game looks like a PS2 fighting game. Like this shit looks immaculate. And that came out what, 2003, 2004 on the Neo Geo.
It was like Actually, hold on.
It's 2006, I think.
I'm still having problems with the fact that they never released Capcom versus SNK.
2003, yeah, 2003. Yeah. That shit looked. Ooh, that shit was amazing. I said that's on Neo Geo.
Right there, baby.
Yeah, if they would drop something like that back in '95, oh no, nah, like
it'd have been a wrap.
Yeah,
it'd have been a wrap.
Too much.
CD was, CD was just that load time killed it.
Yeah,
beautiful.
Load time killed it. The CD Z was better.
I love that collection. It's just beautiful.
The Z was, but there's not a lot of Z's left and not working really good.
Yeah.
My goodness,
if Neo Geo had gone mainstream and dropped their price to be competitive, it absolutely would have destroyed Nintendo and Sega.
Oh yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I mean, if those cartridges were like $60 or $79.99, like the Super Nintendo games and stuff, I mean, they would have just mopped the floor with them, because that system and the fact that the controllers, like they were full-on joysticks, and I mean, they were excellent build quality. I mean, hell yeah.
Yeah. They last. They're built like tanks.
I mean, yeah, because it's like they were using the same innards as the arcade game cabinets.
Yep. Yep.
I mean, in fact, you could take the arcade game cabinets open, take out the cartridge, and put it into your Neo Geo at home, and it would play.
No, you could not.
You could not?
Nope. The MVS carts. So that was the only difference. The boards were exactly the same. The contact pins were changed.
Okay.
So they
my bad.
Yeah. So like there, you can buy a converter and you can install that on top of your AES.
Okay, maybe that's what I was thinking.
Yeah, you can do
that.
You
can do that.
But oh shit, I wish.
With the Super Nintendo and like the Super Famicom, they had that converter thing.
Yeah, it's like
a little easier. Yep.
I mean, even MVS carts are starting to go up now.
Yes.
Yeah.
But MVS stuff before COVID was cheap. What you call it, got a full set of MVS. What's his name? He did the arcade stuff.
What's something Sprites, I think.
Yeah, Scarlet Sprites.
Scarlet Sprites, yeah.
And he has a whole system, and that's why I learned a lot of my stuff, and that's why I wanted to get a candy cab, because I saw him work. I'm like, yeah, I remember having one, and he got that, and he got all every MVS, and his stuff is still good. I mean, more people should watch his channel. Go out and check Scarlet Sprites.
Yeah, Scarlet Sprites channel is awesome.
Is really good, well produced, and he got true arcade stuff and all them MVS games that he has. Oh my gosh, man! Just Neo Geo is a luxury item, and it's so crazy. Like we was talking about one time, man. It don't matter. Say you had $1 million. I want to buy every Neo Geo game. You probably couldn't, because one, you probably can't find it. Two, people really not coming up with it. They hold the thing until they die.
Only so many of each copies of games was made. So trying to find them.
I am in many groups where there are some super status ballers. I'm talking about they up there in terms of money, and these guys talk about, hey, I need this game, and I remember back when 2010 it was $2,000, and now the game's $20,000 and $30,000 game just because it's so rare. I'm like, what? Why is this so expensive?
They've been sitting on all those old cartridges. You know what I'm saying? You know where you would be right now?
Oh my god, dude! It just, if I could go back and tell myself, I mean, hell, if I went back 10 years, I still wouldn't be able to afford it. I damn sure wouldn't afford it back then. But I'm like, if I had the money that I have now and the ability to back then I would have definitely gone after the harder titles. But
the Lord Jesus,
they've done the emulated versions and all that stuff, but a real console that's putting out actual physical media, that would be dope if they actually did do that. That would be super awesome. And Dreamcast, to that point, we said there's a lot of fighting games on Dreamcast. Not a majority, but a large portion of those were actual Neo Geo ports.
Correct.
A lot of them were. And they
Yeah.
played really good. Those were actually on par for the Neo Geo. Like when Dreamcast got it, like PlayStation 1, the port for like King of Fighters 95, 99 wasn't that great, but you do the Dreamcast, oh yeah, all day.
Man, God. But hey, everybody in the chat, if we have like 70 people watching concurrent, if you could please make sure you hit that like button. This will help out the channel so much, help with YouTube. If you haven't subscribed, please do so, because we're trying to get to 100,000 followers before the end of the year. I don't know if we're gonna make it, but we're close. We're like 1/3 there. We're 3/4 there. 1/3 there. We're 3/4 there. We got 26,000 people. Thank you so much, people watching every week. The podcast is getting better and greater numbers and stuff. People are super chatting and donating to the channel. So thank you so much. I mean, tonight is an epic night, y'all. We after a while, a couple more hours. What right now for me? What 2 more hours?
I got an hour and 15 minutes for me.
Oh man,
I'll be there.
I'm about to get ready to go head out into the wild and see what's up with the midnight launch. I want to get my charcuterie board.
Good luck get bored, brother.
He want to get his cutting board. You say, hey man,
would anybody like some grapes?
I have 3 different meats and cheeses.
Oh my god.
No, but let me go ahead and ask you guys real quick. But let me ask you guys real quick though, since we've been kind of talking about the handhelds and everything. I mean, obviously the handheld market has traditionally been Nintendo's domain. Mm-hmm. And we've seen the PSP, and we've seen the PS Vita, and we've seen the Neo Geo, TurboGrafx. There's all kinds of little handhelds that have come out and come and gone, but Nintendo has been absolutely the master. And then the Switch, of course, being the absolute pinnacle of achievement. But now we're kind of seeing a resurgence in the whole entire handheld gaming market. Steam Deck in particular really kind of kicked it off. And now we have the ROG Republic of Gamers Ally that just went live for pre-order today at Best Buy. What do you guys think is really kind of the pushing force for all this? And to preface it, I think that mobile gaming is absolutely huge, right? Like, we're not necessarily the biggest mobile gamers, but in general, mobile gamers make up the majority of the gaming market. The hardcore maybe is a much smaller percentage. And I feel like this handheld hybridization is supposed to do something where it attracts the hardcore gamer for like emulation and retro gaming and modern gaming, but allows that form factor. It allows people to kind of pick up and go and play and everything else. What are y'all's thoughts about these new handhelds? And I just put that out for the group to talk about.
Let me go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say I think a mix of both. I really think the Switch surprised so many people because the Wii U was such a disappointment. I'm not gonna call it disappointment because I like the Switch. I like weird stuff, but the Switch I remember that first rooftop commercial. It was like, whoa. Yeah. I was like, wait a minute. And then they hooked it, and then when I played it at PAX, when I got to play it early, I was like, oh, this is for real. You can actually do this. And it's like, why didn't nobody think of that before? It was just like you got a screen, you can dock it, but the transition from taking out the dock and playing it was just like that. It was like seamless. And it was like, oh my goodness. And then it caught it was like Napster again. It caught the whole industry. It flipped it over. Like, it made people millionaires. It made people go channels. It made it just did this thing to the community that, like, when you thought Nintendo was dead, it's like, aha. Like the old man, they're like, aha. They had like, aha. They're like, what do you know is funny or not, you bastard? Nintendo did that to the whole entertainment. Like, what do you think you know about gaming, you bastard? And they did that to everybody. It was like, wow. Now you see all these clone consoles. If you didn't have the Switch, you definitely would have had the Steam Deck. If you didn't have the Steam Deck, you wouldn't have this new thing that just came out. I think in mobile gaming, where the iPhone changed mobile gaming, changed gaming. Because remember, like, back in the day, trying to play like Brick, whatever that crap was,
Snake.
Snake, yeah. Big old Nike headphones.
It just changed everything. You know, it just changed everything.
No Nokia.
Nokia. My bad.
Yeah, I had.
Damn, I was hoping somebody didn't see that. Hear that?
Sorry, I shouldn't have said anything. That was my bad. I should have let it slide.
You show your age now, though.
No, I'm sorry. I got my braces in. Sorry.
But no, I really think Nintendo, and that's why Nintendo is like coasting, because when you talk about the failed Wii U years, I really think that they're holding on to, like, you know what? Just trust us. Because look at Zelda. Okay, if Zelda released last year, you think it'd be a big hype like this? No. They held on to the last minute to push this thing out. And now look at it. And people are like, oh, because people are not used to waiting. People don't want to wait. People want, I want it. Give me my money. I want it now. You know, give me my game. I want it now.
Yeah.
You know, they're like that infomercial and shit. You know, people want it. But like you're saying, I think it's Nintendo. Nintendo is the cause of all of this right now because they're in the lead.
For sure.
I will say they're number one.
Yeah,
of course they're number one, like undeniably. But I mean, the thing is, right? Like, it used to be somebody would bring out some kind of portable handheld and people were like, okay, because you're not Nintendo and you're trash. But Steam Deck was like, oh no, your entire Steam library is playable and portable now. And people were like, oh, hold up a second. Plus, you could put whatever operating system you want on it. The performance was there, you know what I'm saying? Especially like for the emulating mod community, like the people who like to be able to play retro games on the go. It was a godsend. Because you could put your entire Super Nintendo, Sega Genesis, NES, like, you know, Atari, MAME emulators, everything on it. Everything. Yep. And so literally you're carrying around 10,000 games on one device, and it doesn't fit in your pocket. It's bigger. But I mean, you get the point, right? It's portable. You're sitting on a plane, you know, transatlantic flight, bro. You've got every game you could possibly want to play, and you're set up. You just hook up that USB, boom, you got infinite electricity. You're set.
Boom.
I would not have my Steam Deck if it wasn't for this podcast. So, like, we had that conversation. I don't know, this was like 5 or 6 podcasts ago at this point, but we sat there, and this was during the Steam event, and they had all the discounts and all that, and I was like, man. All right, I went ahead and did it. And I went all the way out. I mean, I modded it and everything. I did all that stuff. And the Emu deck is just jam packed. I got almost the entire Neo Geo library in there, like I needed, but I got it on the go. Super Nintendo, Sega Genesis, 64, all that. Thanks to my dude Zelda Hat Guy for hooking me up with all those. But anyway, to that point though, Switch, when it released the way it did, it really brought the definition of, hey, to gamers, I want to be able to bring my console on the go, and I can't do that. Right? That was like the whole message behind it. And it was like, oh my God, because, you know, we had handhelds, you know, we could take, you know, a couple of games and here and there, but the fact of the matter is let's say we're on business, we're out and we're out for work, but we still want to bring a console to play during our downtime at the hotel. I don't want to just sit there in the bed. I'd rather play it on the big screen, but guess what? I brought my dock with me and I can hook that up into the hotel TV. That changed the game completely for a lot of people. And then the ability to have other family members who don't game, but the fact that it was so portable and easy to carry around and easy to use, and the UI was easy to get into and just get started and go, and it wasn't all this extra nonsense. For the older generation that didn't game, or they may have played a game here or two, that was something that's really, you know, really good for Nintendo to do. So,
can I add to?
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm sorry, I'll let you know, but it just popped in my head when you said that they laid the groundwork with the Wii.
Yeah.
They laid Nintendo likes, all right, you know what? The old generation is gone. They lost it to PlayStation. Let's make a new one. What they did was they brought the 40 to like 60, 65 generation, them, and then the kids like, wait a minute, this is easy. This is making gaming easy. It's not complicated. And they brought they went from the rooter to the tutors down to say, not people don't get that, but they got everybody with the Wii. The Wii grabbed everybody's attention, and then they got a little bit too cocky, but I think they knew what they was doing. Like somebody, like we were saying, like that Wii U was kind of was a prototype. A lot of people say that, look at the controller, it's the Wii U controller, but they made that prototype. They did 168 physically games, but a whole bunch of games digitally, and they would just wait their time. Nintendo is really patient. You're not going to push Nintendo. You're not going to say release something now. They say we do when we want to. Who are you? And people gonna sit there. Okay, all right.
You're on our time, not
yours. They are. They on their own time, and they do what they want to do.
I would say.
Let me ask you. I was going to ask a follow-up question. Go ahead, but go ahead and make your point because I have a follow-up.
Oh no, I was about to say, like, when it came to the Switch, and I think Steve even touched on it before. The first commercial they showed about it, like minus the whole like taking everywhere you went. What was the first target demographic they showed when they showed like the very first trailer of like Breath of the Wild? It was an adult man, right? It was an adult man.
Yeah.
And everything through that trailer, you didn't see a single child. So that means by initially when they showed that trailer, the target demographic was for young adults and just regular adults throughout.
Yeah.
So it wasn't a single child through that. So when they saw that, it was like, oh, okay.
Nintendo grew up.
Yeah. Nintendo, they had, that child-friendly kitty image for years and years. But when we saw that, it was like, oh man, this isn't just for kids. This is literally for everybody now. So I think that was the starting point to where that will make the Switch like blow up as big as now, as big as it is today. Because when you think about it, like kids have Switches too. But how many more adults do you see as Switches compared to kids? For every one child that has a Switch, there's like 15 other adults that have it. So their marketing went more towards, they have more family-friendly stuff, but they just want it for everybody.
And also hey, everybody send out positive messages to Snarlex in the chat. I know how stuff can be sometimes. Times get you down, but I hope this new Zelda game, if you do get it, my brother, or whatever game you playing, I hope it makes you feel better. We're here for you. The community will love you. Make sure hey, we all go through it. I'm still going through depression about stuff. I understand, bro. Times can be hard. So whatever you decide how to play, if you want to collect games, you want to chop up some eggs on your plate. If you get you one, brother, for everybody to put
just to kind of give a quick mental health shout out. If anybody is depressed and they're thinking about hurting themselves or something like that, there's a new hotline that we have in the United States that's 988. And if you call that number, you'll be put in contact immediately with somebody who can kind of help you with your emergent medical needs in terms of, mental issues. So just, remember that it's sort of like 911, but for your, basically for your mental health needs. So 988, definitely remember that number if you guys get into a situation where you're feeling overwhelmed. I mean, yes, we talk about gaming. Yes, we talk about all
star 988 or the 988.
Just 988.
Just 988. Okay. Yeah, just like 911, but just 88. Okay.
Yep. So
very simple to remember.
But I mean, it's cool because it went live earlier this year, and it's like one of those things that's really helping a lot of people. And that way, it's like if you're alone or desperate, they can help you out. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, because hey, I talked to my counselor talked to my therapist yesterday. And it just one session was good just to talk stuff out. This is why I enjoy this podcast, because sometimes I just need to get shit out. I need to talk to people. I need to talk. We need to get these out. Just sitting here at home and just typing it on. I can see why people get going off on Instagram and stuff. But hey, this is time. The chat is my channel is stress free. If I see somebody acting silly, I will kick their ass out. I don't care. I'll block, mute, whatever I gotta do. I'll protect my community.
I was worried last week.
It's a judgment-free year zone. We also too. Now listen, we do roast each other. We do have fun. We chat. But if you need some help, hey, and let you know, I go through it. I bet.
It's called
I'm a walking miracle, y'all. I've been through it. I lost my leg, lost hands, lost relationships. Lost money, game money. All that kind of stuff. Just gaming is supposed to make you feel good. So if you are having trouble, I'm telling you, hey, reach out to somebody. Reach out to me, DM me, we'll talk. I don't care. Just as long as you be okay. Call that 988 if you get. Alex is a doctor. I'm telling you, find him on Twitter and you serious. He will help you. This dude know his shit. He talk a lot, but he know his shit.
That's for damn sure.
I know, right?
Take it.
Ain't that right?
Yeah, he better talk again.
I talk too much. Come on, Mr. Right Way. You know what's up.
So going back to your question, Alex. The new ROG, is it worth it? Is it worth getting? I don't know yet. I've seen videos, I've seen gameplay. The tech specs look good. I'm a person that's just recently invested in a Steam Deck. I don't see the value in buying it yet, unless, you've got Windows 11 already ready to go, and you can use every operating system from, Steam and Game Pass, which I find amazing. I think that's really great. Had I known this was coming out, maybe I would have waited prior, but now that I'm heavily invested into the Steam Deck, I don't think I would move into it now.
I don't think there's a big enough performance differential between the two. Like, okay, so I buy everything. Every console that comes out, I just buy it because that's just my mental disorder that allows me to do that. And it's like, it is what it is. But I think that if you are already invested in the Steam Deck and you've put some money into it, I don't see what the purpose of trying to, get this is. There will be a Steam Deck 2. And, it's interesting, right? Because if you look at the Chinese market, there's a ton, and I mean a ton of portable PC handhelds. And some of them are excellent and some of them are pure trash. And it's only now that they're kind of trickling over to the United States. Fortunately for us, both the Steam Deck is a great piece of kit. I don't know about this one yet, but everybody that I trust on YouTube who's had an advanced review unit has said it's really, really good. So if you haven't had either, I think that either is a good choice, but it kind of comes to the form factor. I think that the Steam Deck's a little bit larger, a little bit heavier, but it's also integrated perfectly with Steam. Whereas this is a little bit more do-it-yourself. You gotta probably have to figure some stuff out, at least off of first blush, right? Until I get my hands on it, I can't say for certain. There's also a lower power version that is coming out in the third quarter of this year. So we get the extreme version of the processor, APU in this one, and the non-extreme version's coming out. So I'm guessing that one is going to be almost equal to the Steam Deck, probably similar price, maybe a little bit cheaper. There are some modifications that you can do in terms of the SSD on the Steam Deck. I don't know if that's a possibility on the ROG device. There is a external graphics card that you can buy for $2,000.
Yeah,
it connects to the ROG handheld.
Yeah.
And it's a 4090, so it's a RTX 4090. You can hook that up to the TV. They were showing Horizon Zero Dawn on it, and it played flawlessly. So it depends on what you want.
That's a lot. That's a lot. I think that's.
But I'm not. If you're putting $2,000 in for a portable graphics card and then $700 for the system, just buy a gaming laptop.
Yeah, just buy.
Might as well do a PC. Yeah, and that's the thing. While I was looking at the specs, it's not too much of a differentiating factor between the Steam Deck. Minus some few caveats. I think the battery consumption was less than the Steam Deck from what I was looking at. I probably looked.
Well, that's because you can really kick it into overdrive. If you play it on performance mode, you got 2 hours.
But I don't think it's for everybody though. It's like the Nintendo. It's the same thing that happened throughout history. Everybody try to come after Nintendo's neck with this when they bring out new technology. Either was the Game Boy, the Game Gear, Turbo Graphics. Everybody came for them. Then they went to the 3DS. Everybody tried to come with them. They went for the Wii, and people try to come from them. And now the Switch, they're trying to come from them. Nintendo what Nintendo does it? They could do another Switch too, but it seems like you can't. They sat on the throne for so long, you can't get them. Especially with technology, just new stuff in the market. This is one thing I learned from Nintendo.
That's because Nintendo has a very special reason why they will never not be number one, and that is their IPs. Their IPs are amazing. Their games are excellent. And then on top of that, the performance. The controllers are cool, but the thing is, you could fall asleep with 3DS and wake up the next morning and it's still on. Whereas you can't do that with any other handhelds.
No.
Yep. You gotta close that 3DS though.
Yeah, Nintendo systems are literally built like tanks. I remember there was a story how there was a Game Boy, like original Game Boy, and then like some type of bomb or something fell on it, and then like they recovered it, and now it's in a museum somewhere, and that shit still works.
Yes, it works. In New York.
Yeah, that it's like in terms of like build quality, Nintendo. Honestly, I don't know any manufacturer who built better. Like when it comes to the quality of their products, I don't know anybody else who's above them. Like them things are built to last.
It's just so crazy when Alex talking about their IPs and stuff. Like I always think about look what they refreshed. They refreshed Metroid this year. They put new life back into Kirby. I ain't never seen 3 Kirby games come out in the span of a year.
Yeah.
And then remember that little download cake and that little cute cake racing game that they had. Yeah, that game is fun too. And they and 4 or 5 games because they did like a party type of game, Kirby game.
And what's crazy is like people are saying it's the Switch effect, and what that basically means is every other of their major IPs, even like the lesser known ones, if they were to remake or make a new entry on the Switch, is outperforming the previous titles by like 3-1. Like Kirby, Kirby's doing better than it's ever done. I think Metroid's doing good as well. I think they reintroduced Advance Wars. I heard that's doing pretty good. Like the boot camp one, like 1 and 2, that's doing pretty good. So every other title that they've made in the past has come back to the Switch. This is doing like phenomenally better. Like and when Pikmin 4 come out, guaranteed that's going to be the best selling. That's going to be
wait for that game.
That's going to be the best selling Pikmin.
I don't even like that, but I can see it selling.
Yep.
Please bring back Uniraces. That was a good game. Uniraces.
I mean, that whole entire point that the Zelda guy made about the 40 plus years of these IPs. I mean, they're genuinely the Disney of video games. I mean, there is no argument with that. Anybody who tries to say otherwise, it's just cap. I mean, like, you will never not have Nintendo. Nintendo's 100 and something years old, 120, 130 years old at this point. I'm like, bro, come on, man. Yeah, from playing cards to the world's, most popular, gaming system. Insane. And the thing is, you know what I love about Nintendo? They took their licks and kept on ticking. I mean, it's like the thing is, they have so much money, they're so cash flush that when they take a risk and it fails, it doesn't even touch the company. They literally are like, okay, we'll go back to the drawing board, we'll fix it.
Hey, Metro Prime, they had no problems.
Yeah, that was. It was immaculate.
They took the bootleg version and said, "Oh, let me show you how to do this." Because everybody was playing the bootleg like 1080p version on Steam and computer and all that kind of stuff for years, right? But then they say, "All right, you know what? Let's look at that. Let's really show them how to do it." Man, look at the Metacritic score for that.
I'll tell you, like when they remastered it, that basically showed that all the thing they did was remaster. Like when you touch a paint, right, and change some control schemes around, that game still fits a lot by today's standards. So all they had to do is change a few things around, and that was better than most games that come out now. So that goes to show that a lot of those titles back then stand the test of time as long as they get like some care and work done into it.
Yeah.
Little Botox, little facelift, we'll be good to go.
Yep.
Well, I want to go get this Zelda, but we'll stop it here because I know a lot of people want to go do season midnight lunches and releases and stuff. But guys, this has been another fun episode. We'll probably be back on schedule another week or two because tomorrow, not tomorrow, but Saturday, I will be at Corks in Columbus, Ohio. So come say hi if you're out there. It will be on my YouTube. It'll be on all my social media, but it's on there now still. So Core is going to be a great day. I'm meeting a lot of people there. I'm trying not to buy anything. I'm taking trays this time. I'm taking some more trays.
You a lie. You a lie.
So you a lie.
You a lie. Pause. Boy, he didn't pause nothing. That's a lie. You lie.
No, you're fibbing. It's like if you're Pinocchio, your nose would be growing.
But next week we might come at you on Wednesday. Pause. We might do Wednesday, but it's like that what you call it? That not meme, but that video with it's on by WWE saying crazy stuff, and it's like Rusev said, he said, "If you come in my face, I'm gonna hurt you," and then she looking like.
Like what? Like, oh, hold on. Like,
I was wondering about I want to get it straight.
Oh,
struck down. But it's crazy. But yeah, we for everybody go and enjoy Zelda. Enjoy the Legend of Zelda: Tears of the Kingdom. Everybody, make sure you get help. Call 988. Call somebody. Connect with people in this chat. Man, his Steve found me one of those charcuterie boards.
Oh my god,
charcuterie boards.
Charcuterie boards. Come on, we got the charcuterie boards.
You gotta watch out. You gotta get some of that special hot mustard. The Zelda hot mustard too. It goes perfect with that charcuterie.
I bet it's good. Hey, hot mustard is delicious. Hot mustard is so delicious.
Yes, sir.
I love it. But yeah, guys, everything is gonna be good and stuff. Everybody, tell where they can find you. Retro Neo Ness. Where can they find you?
Retro Neo Ness. You can find me on Instagram. I post all my recent pickups, and you can find me on YouTube on my YouTube channel. And also, I have a podcast with my buddy Zelda Hat Guy called Saved by the Game.
That's right, and Zelda Hat Guy's right here. So it said, hey, listen. Phenomenal game, that's right. And we got the doctor in the house who loves to talk but never show his face, but that's okay because he's my friend over 20 years. Gamer MD.
Yeah, I mean, I do not have a YouTube channel currently. I am currently on the Crumb side of gaming on the Twitter Spaces. So please come over to Twitter and follow me at Alexander Tyler. But I promise you, there will be a channel in the not too distant future. I've got some things in the works, and obviously I enjoy hanging out with my man Steve on his channel and love supporting my friends. So, you guys definitely like and subscribe his channel, and let's get this place to over 100,000 followers.
Please do. And my boy, Always Hot Atlanta, and it's about to be hot soon.
Oh,
boy, y'all gonna get ready to get roasted.
Oh yeah, man. I was like, man, I'm about 2 shades already darker, man. So I probably gotta wear like a sun. I probably wear like a hazmat suit or something like that when I start going outside. It's getting crazy.
But you got that fresh cut, bro. I see.
It's fresh. Yeah, but I'm gonna have to wear like a hat or something because I ain't gonna have no hair. I go out there with the scorching heat, man. That shit gonna burn off.
City out there, man.
Yeah, that shit gonna burn off all my hair follicles. I'm like, I gotta be safe out here.
Well, yeah, what can they find you, bro?
But you can catch me on YouTube, Twitter, IG, and actually stay tuned in about a couple of days. I got another kit coming. It's gonna be right through the Xbox, and I think Alex is gonna enjoy it. So yeah, man. So definitely stay tuned for that. It's gonna be a good one. It's gonna be a good one. Like the script is immaculate. So I can't wait. I can't wait to go.
I can't wait to see it because that PlayStation one was funny. That PlayStation was fun. But guys, thank you so much for tuning in to the podcast. We will see you next week. Stay at the community page. Make sure you have notifications on so you know when it's going to go up. And always remember to do it the right way. And we'll see you.